Releasing in 1991, one of the most graphically violent video games of all time hits arcades around the world, causing an absurd amount of controversy. Today we celebrate the release of the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. Where is the gore? Where is the violence? Are these questions a horseload of shit? Find out on today's episode of Skorne's Lair.
Right on, brother.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Scumbag Steve.
Thank you.
My name is Dirtbag Dewey. Today, we are on our second episode of Skorne's Lair ever. Today we thought would be great is to cover what just came out on the 20-something of April. Because I don't even know what today's date is. So,
I believe it came out on the 23rd.
Yeah, okay. And it hit theaters before that, so...
Came out 16th.
Yes, right. And so we've got some opinions we want to talk about. We've got some thoughts on some of the characters and the development, and some of the just some Mortal Kombat chat in general. You know, we're just going to focus on this one movie. We're going to try to tie it all together with the entire franchise. So first thing we want to start off with, though, is some gaming news. We want to keep that kind of regular on the show. Talk about some gaming news every week, even if it's a specific show like this one. We don't have too much on the plate, but I know we have a couple things if you want to give them a go, Smoke.
Last week we discussed about how the PlayStation stores for PS3, PSP, and PS Vita were going down. Well, now it's only PSP going down. PlayStation has said that they did not realize how important the PS3 and PS Vita stores were to us, so they're going to keep them up indefinitely. And you know, it makes me think that maybe the influx in sales of people rushing to buy these games was their idea the entire time.
Really? Like they just were pushing and...
Yeah.
But what do you think? They wanted to push that, and they were still gonna get rid of the server. But
they might have.
Now they were like, oh, we can't do that. Like, and they're just trying to save themselves from some really bad press.
I think this is the end of Q2 coming up, right?
Yes.
So that's gonna go towards
I think June
their
is
profit.
the end of Q2. But yeah.
Yeah.
June
That's gonna go
30th
towards their
would have
profit
been,
margins. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The PSP.
They did push sales for sure.
Oh,
it does. I mean, right? It's very old at this point. The Vita to me is the same thing, but whatever.
If this wasn't their plan all the time, don't praise them for doing what's right.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. People keep on. I keep seeing that, and you know, I think a lot of people on YouTube agree that they're just doing this to save themselves, like, you know,
save face.
Yeah. I don't think they would have lost any money or even lost any fans by doing this. Really, they were going to increase the value of used video games in the markets there. They already did.
For sure.
I mean, as soon as they launched that, PSP games and PS3 games shot through the roof.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they launched, they were keeping them. Everything else dropped right back down.
Right back where it should
just
be
like
for
that.
the time being. Yep.
I do like the sales they did on the. I do like the sales they put on the store though, the PlayStation Store.
I turned my PS3 on for the first time in years, and they had some decent sales on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like $2 or something for some of those games, and they put down.
They had a lot of PS3 titles for. They had $9.99, $19.99, $20.99.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, it's pages and pages of games, and they're all great games. The PS3 was one of my favorite systems.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have one, but
it's such a large library, man.
It is. It's not quite as large as the PS2, but it also wasn't as successful.
Well,
so.
The PS2 didn't officially end until 2013.
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about last week, there are some PS4 games that released on the PS2. That's insane. So that's good news. That's some good news we have. For fans of those consoles, collectors especially, who aren't ready for those to go.
How do you think that feels being a collector of an entire console, and then you have the complete set, and then 4 years later, a new game comes out, and you're like, oh shit, I no longer have the record, right? Like,
I'm missing one
like
game.
This guy's got the entire collection of Wii, right? And then Just Dance 2020 comes out. Now he's got to run out and
for the Wii.
Yeah,
they did that on some of those. Like, I'm pretty sure, like Just Dance, one of the later games released on the Wii, but did not release on the Wii U. And the year before that, I'm pretty sure that game Just Dance released on the Wii U, but didn't release on the Wii. That
makes sense. It
doesn't make sense, but it's just like, wow. Anyway, speaking of Nintendo, we have some other gaming news there. Pokemon Snap actually launches the 30th. We both have it coming. It's actually, I think, it shipped today from GameStop or something. It's on its way. And they announced a printer attachment, I guess, accessory. That's still awesome. I'm not complaining about it. I just think they should be a little bit more clear that you don't need this special edition one.
What is it? Like Fujifilm, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those Fujifilm Insta printers or something like that.
Yeah, and if you wait, it doesn't even come out on the same day.
Yeah, it comes out later.
It comes out in May, which you might as well just, it's almost May anyways. But yeah, for the extra $20, you get a silicone Pikachu case, I guess you'd call it, to go around the outside of the printer.
Yeah, fair. It's like, instead of being $100, which is what the current non-special edition, you can buy it right now and connect it to your Nintendo Switch, and it works.
And your smartphone.
Yeah, it just doesn't. They haven't made the app available on the Switch store yet, so you can't download. You can't just instantly print from your Switch right now. You still have to. Right now, you still have to send the photo from your Switch to your phone, or another Bluetooth device, and then to your printer. But once this launches in May, probably there will be an app on the Nintendo Switch that'll allow you to print straight to this printer, which is cool. I'm not saying it's not. I just think they need to be more upfront about what it actually is.
Speaking about cool Nintendo Switch apps, I noticed in the store I was looking at just the other day. There's a new trailer came out for Pokemon Snap, and there is a app that you can get that uses the infrared on the Joy-Con to have night vision. The screenshots look cool. I think the app is like $8.99 or something.
Okay.
But it looks like it works. I might have to pick it up just to verify.
Try that, yeah. Just to you play around with even, yeah.
Yeah, I might. Next time we might put some, I guess, gameplay footage up of it.
Yeah, sure. Next week we do have a special running for the 4th, but I'm sure the week after that we'll be coming back.
Or I can pick it up after this and we can put it in post. How about that?
Sure.
I'll do that.
How about that? If we for you guys, if we end up getting it before this video goes up, we'll get some footage in here. Otherwise, you'll be seeing it in a couple weeks. We'll bring it back up.
Of course, for you podcast listeners, that means you're going to have to see the video on YouTube.
Yeah, of course. And actually, that's a good thing. We've decided some things for this. Like, if you wanna get an explicit version of this podcast, you're gonna need to check out the audio version of it. Minus the few mistakes I made in the first one, and might have missed a few swears. But we're gonna try to do a better job about that from now on, and have a clean version for those of you who would like to listen when you're around the house. If you have kids, if you're just cooking in the kitchen. And if you want a little bit more detailed version, go to YouTube. If you want to be an audio listener and get some explicit content, head over to the Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. Anywhere you listen to your podcast will be. So feel free to check us out there.
YouTube does include video clips of the games and some media that we're going to be talking about as well. More of an experience for the eyes.
Yes, but it is, again, 2 hours, so we don't blame you if you want to minimize that either.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Any other gaming news quick do you have before we move on to the main topic of today's show?
I don't know if did we touch upon last time about how the PS4's CMOS bomb is going to absolutely destroy the console? As of right now, unless they roll out an update.
We did, yeah. I believe we did.
Okay. I didn't know if we had that information yet.
Yeah, we talked on how it's gonna ruin the console, but that it's not quite undoable yet. But if it had never been caught, people would have been screwed out of hundreds of dollars of digital media with probably no self fix, and
even physical on PS4.
Exactly. Exactly. And like, so even if you have to replace your battery now, unless you can connect it to the internet and connect to the PlayStation servers, there is no way to fix it. So we're hoping that Sony does do some more fixing, instead of just keeping these PlayStation stores up. Maybe push out a firmware update and fix these consoles. I mean, can you imagine them having shut the store down on the PS3 and then this happening and then them not being able... Well, I guess the PS3 didn't have the problem, but just say it did. Like, imagine not being able to play even physical... They shut down the PlayStation 3 stores, and yet you can't even play your physical games on your PlayStation. That would be insane, dude. Yeah, but we did cover that a little bit last week. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you go check our first podcast out, episode 1, Skorne's Lair. So we watched this Mortal Kombat. What's up, Damien? We watched this Mortal Kombat movie the instant it launched. Actually, like literally the minute it launched, I hit play on the on HBO. And we watched through it, and I have to say, I quite enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was a great modern take on it.
Yeah, I think they modernized it in a really good way. I do have some qualms, but not too many.
I'm very glad it's rated R this time, not PG-13.
Yeah.
They know their audience now.
Totally.
I mean, back then we were teenagers, right? Most people that were into it.
Yeah, most people that were into it, I guess. Yeah, that's right. And now
we were
all
a little young,
in our 20s or 30s, if not 40s. So
yeah.
It is not as gory as I thought it would be, but more gory than the trailer made it look.
Yeah. I like the fatalities.
Yeah, I
thought
think
that was cool.
I think they did a lot of cool throwbacks to the games.
Yeah, a lot of the quotes too from the game.
They did include a lot of that in there. There's a lot of fanfare.
Yeah, there certainly is. This one thing that really bothered me off the get-go is how Shang Tsung did not have his Fu Manchu.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Well, I get what you're saying, because most of the characters actually do portray their video game form quite well.
That actor for Liu Kang, he was ripped, dude.
Oh my man! When they hit their point, is that a spoiler?
No, I don't think it's a spoiler. He's always ripped, okay. But that specific actor with his shirt on, you can't imagine it. Like it's so toned muscle.
It's when they went into that first fight with him and he just all he does is bow. I was like, what the f?
Yeah, he just flexes those traps, man, and
like how do you even get that tone?
Absolute unit.
Yeah, man. We hope we see him actually in more movies, even if it's not just the Mortal Kombat franchise. We hope we see him in more action movies and kung fu movies and stuff.
Liu Kang in '95 was a breakout star too.
That's right. That guy, and he was the only one who went to the sequel too, right? He was the actor who remained in the sequel.
Yeah.
Which are great movies. Great movies.
Yeah, fantastic.
Damien
movies.
agrees. Yeah. So there is a new thing with this movie actually. They did bring in a character that we have never seen before.
Yeah, you and I were guessing who he was the entire time.
The entire time, and we had no idea.
Yeah.
And they do get to that. We aren't going to spoil that for anybody. We do want you guys... In fact, if you haven't really checked out this movie, and you don't want any spoilers, you should have stopped this 5 minutes ago. But stop it now, and go check those out. And check it out. Watch it. It's on HBO. I'm sure you can catch it in theaters still, I'm pretty sure, if you don't have any COVID restrictions or anything. But... I think it's worth it. I did hear some complaints from people, but go check that out. If you don't want any spoilers, then come back here. We're still going to try to keep it pretty spoiler free this episode, unlike most of our episodes are probably going to be. This episode, since this movie just came out, we want to do our best. So
I have no problem spoiling 95.
Oh yeah, we'll spoil that movie.
If you haven't seen 95, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just go to the wiki, read about it. It's not worth your time.
I mean, like, the first one is tolerable. The first one is tolerable.
Yeah.
The second one, I think I could watch again, but I'd have to be really high probably. Or just,
it's one of those nights that you grab popcorn and chips and you make fun of a movie.
Yes.
With some buddies.
Yeah. You hang out with some friends who like love to laugh at goofy movies, stupid movies, and you watch a stupid movie.
And there's a lot of them from the 90s.
Oh yeah, because we actually early 2000s too, right? Because I'm going to say right now, we ended up watching Dead or Alive from 2002 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
Right after we watched these, because we started thinking about that franchise, which is a terrible movie. In fact, it made less than half of what it cost to make on the box office.
Yeah.
It was like a $30 million movie. Didn't it make like 12,000 or 12 million? I mean,
I think it made like 11 million and cost them like 45 or something.
Oh, I thought it was like 30 or something.
I don't remember the exact number. We can pop it up.
We'll pop it up here what it actually is. But it's insane that they lost that much money because it's not that bad of a movie. It's better than the Mortal Kombat movies from back in the day.
Oh. The movie was for Dead or Alive fans.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a lot too. It's again, it's kind of like, okay, so this new movie is beyond that. It's a new storyline. It's a continuation of the Mortal Kombat storyline, but it's a new telling of that, like a modernized telling of it, and that. But there's a lot of fan appreciation in the movie. If you're gonna appreciate the characters probably, and like you said, the fatalities.
We can talk about the opening scene. That's the trailer.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we can. That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The actors they chose for Hanzo and Sub-Zero were perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That opening fighting scene, that does set a good tone for the rest of the movie.
Heart-wrenching in the way, really, right, too? Like, very dramatic scene. I was kind of surprised at how long that first scene drug out, but it did make me really attached to that character, and I wasn't ready for what they were setting up for, which we're not going to spoil, but the scene is setting up for some really important things you find out later in the movie. And
if you know Mortal Kombat, you know about that rivalry.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah.
If you're not watching this movie if you don't know Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, unless you're just stuck at home and there's a new movie, and
it's Mortal Kombat. It's big, and that's what actually the director. It was the Russo brothers who directed this, and they talk about how they had to be accepting of the fact that there are people who know nothing about this really complicated lore inside of Mortal Kombat, and they had to find a way to explain to them what's happening, and it's trying to not spoil things. It's why certain events happen from the overworld that aren't something you would have expected happening. It's not very traditional in that sense. Like, they kind of broke free from the tournament, we'll say. I'll leave it there. And opened up things.
They did and they didn't. The tournament was talked about.
Yeah, Yeah.
This isn't spoiler territory, but they did set it up for a sequel.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
know they're making more movies.
With the production value they added, I would have a hard time feeling that this movie is not going to be a success in the box office.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to determine if there's a sequel or not. So, if you want to see a sequel to this, go check it out in theaters, if not just on HBO. And when it comes out physically, buy it, because you probably will see a sequel at that point. In fact, we are a little suspicious that they might not already be in production for another one. We haven't done the research on that, but they left so much room for a sequel that it almost has to be true.
I'll probably buy the physical Blu-ray, because more than anything, I'll be interested in seeing how they did a lot of the filming and
the behind the scenes. Yes, good. I will be interested. Good movie. Yeah, I can't wait to see Cordo Cruz VFX breakdown of it, because they always do that VFX artist react.
Yeah. How long do you think till let's not even talk about a sequel movie. How long do you think till the next game?
Now, we have any games announced yet? No?
No, there's not. But E3's coming up here very soon.
And E3's going to be online this year again, so...
Yeah.
Maybe holiday season? If not next year.
Sorry, I was just looking here at the back. I picked up a Switch game today. It's on sale at GameStop. Not sponsored.
Sponsor me.
Sponsor me, yeah. I was just seeing if there's a date on when this was officially ported. Oh, 2019, this is ported over to the Switch.
So we're 2 years in. Well, yeah. that came out like 3 years ago on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that's been out for a minute.
I never played 11, actually. I played 9, and I think I played 10, but not much of 10. I played 9 a bit.
I'm digging 11.
Yeah. You know, one thing we did watch before we watched the new movie was last year's animated WB Animation's animated Mortal Kombat movie, which really explains like the lore. If you have any questions, that really explains the lore between Sub-Zero and Scorpion very well, as as the lore behind the tournament and what it means to Earth to lose this tournament, and why we really need to stop losing this tournament. And so if you have any questions, I would recommend going and watching that if you don't want to go back and play the video games. Otherwise, the video games do a way better job anyway.
Yeah, I always loved the first time starting up any of the games, especially on the PS2, because there's like sometimes it's a 7-minute cinematic, dude, just explaining up to the events of that, you know?
Yeah.
You buy like a mini movie every time you pop one in.
Yeah, and then after that, it's basically just a tower game.
Yeah, that's good luck. Not always. You have is it Deception? I think it's Deception. It's either Deception or Armageddon has the.
Oh, Armageddon! I remember that.
The side things. They both have.
I did like
things.
Armageddon. Armageddon had that like graveyard thing where like you had to get points to unlock, like destroy gravestones, and then you would get like special unlocks, like or like character skins or like graphics and like behind the scenes content, shit like that.
Yeah, that's a recurring thing now too. They have that in 11.
Okay.
But you had like the motor combat, they called it. It's a little awesome Mario Kart where you kill each other, and when you die, fatality pops up on the screen. You got that, and then you got Mortal Kombat Tetris.
Spin-offs. Yeah.
Yeah. There was Mortal Kombat Chess.
Really? I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
That was like weird. When you took over an opponent, it was like
you have to fight him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And loser leaves the board.
All right.
So not traditional chess, but
like
I
that's
always
the thing,
lose.
Right? I lose at traditional chess anyway.
Fair enough.
What about Shaolin Monks?
Shaolin Monks, yeah, great spin.
That was like a different that was more like a beat 'em up, right? Like in a way,
Mm-hmm.
not really, but mostly, like kind of.
Yeah, it was story based, objective based beat 'em up. Yeah.
Instead of being this again tower climbing game, which is kind of overdone. At that point, it was way overdone, and now it's kind of being overdone again. But the only, I guess the only real big fighting games we have now, Mortal Kombat is still probably the biggest, right? Street Fighter releases the same game every year.
I would say maybe sales wise, Street Fighter's bigger.
Yeah.
I think
Fighter
Capcom
3,
has that market.
right?
If it's not Street Fighter, it's Street Fighter versus Capcom. Or
That game is dope.
Marvel versus Capcom.
I really love that.
Are they still doing Marvel versus Capcom now that Disney owns Marvel? That might be something. Yeah.
Don't know. If there is, we'll put another thing somewhere in here.
Hey, Disney versus Capcom.
Can I destroy Mickey Mouse?
Let me Hadouken Mickey Mouse.
Oh my god.
Let me Shoryuken Donald Duck.
What's his name from Kingdom Hearts?
Oh yeah, Sora would be in it, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of. Is he Square property though? I think he's a Square Enix property.
That's a good one. Maybe is that, even though it's a Disney game, a Disney licensed game,
I think he shows up in Final Fantasy.
Because he's a Final Fantasy character technically.
I think
he's from the Final Fantasy
Fantasy
universe.
Yeah, and there's a lot of crossover in the Kingdom Hearts games from what I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they bring in like Cloud. I'm pretty sure.
At one point, I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played through all of them. I need to get on it.
I'm still playing through that 7, man, and I did not realize how much of a dick that Cloud is throughout. At least as far as I've gotten, like he just is such a prick about everything that anybody says to him, and I had no idea. It's kind of fascinating to me.
I'm glad this exists.
Oh yeah.
Mine's sealed, but I will probably. I'll probably get another copy, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I was just
like, you open that?
Yeah, if I love this. I never really got into the Kingdom Hearts games, but I absolutely understand the fandom for them.
Yeah, I totally get it. It's a very deep lore, and then the first one with the whole Donald Duck and Goofy and everything, like following you through the game, and yeah, I get it. I have had ex-girlfriends who were into it. That like really sold it to me, who were like really explained it to me that made me like, I get it. I'm still not gonna play it. I mean, I might eventually, right? Like I'm sure I'd love it, but I'm not gonna take the time to get into that series at this point in my life.
Well, I know from what I know of it is you have to play like the side titles to understand the story completely, and that's why they brought out the like stories so far. And it's just like a game full of cutscenes. This just explains to you what the hell's going on.
Yeah, necessary if you want to jump into the series now.
Yeah, this takes place between 1 and 2. This one takes place between 2 and 2.5, and it's like, oh my,
Yeah.
At what point are you guys doing too much?
I think Kingdom Hearts 3. No,
yeah.
Actually, probably the DS games. Like all the PSP games. I mean, all the spin-offs are ridiculous.
There's no way they had the story written from the get-go.
No,
they were just bullshitting their way through it.
How many plot holes have to be inside of that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably.
Unless they have some really, really good writers.
I think they were writing as they went, dude. I'll find out. I will. I'll find out. I could just be.
That'll
totally
be
hating on this.
We do want to come. One of our future episodes, even if it's months down the road, is going to be a Square Enix episode. We're going to try to bring a friend on who knows a lot more about the games than we do, so we can bounce some stuff off of him, and we're going to try to break down some more like developers and publishers in the near future, just to kind of celebrate the history of these games and these companies and where they're at now. So, or not celebrate them in certain. THQ.
I mean, in a way, this is one of my especially favorite developers originally.
Yes. I mean, this podcast is called Skorne's Lair.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Now we're talking about WB. And I'm glad. Okay, we're going back to that movie, that new character. I'm glad that that's the step they're taking rather than rewriting the lore.
I think it was necessary, and that's what the Russo brothers explained. Part of the new character's introduction was to help explain the old lore, and introduce fans into this series in a way that might help them get interested without just being like, "What's going on?" And I think he's a great character.
Could you imagine if they would have brought like the entire cast that they've ever had for Mortal Kombat on? You know how lost people would be?
I mean, at certain points in the film, I was like, "Who's that?" And then they'd say, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, it's exactly who that is." Yeah, I think he has a good backstory. You know, I can say this: he grows up in Chicago. He's an like MMA boxer kind of fighter, getting paid like no money at all
to get his ass kicked.
To get his ass kicked all the time. Yeah. He's kind of been washed up, and then he is chosen by Raiden for some reason. You know, so that's about all I can say without spoiling anything. But
I just want to say one thing. And this is kind of spoiler territory, but not really. They did a great job with their outfits this time.
Yeah, they did. Even like the CG characters, right? Like Goro, right? I can say that because you know he's going to be in this.
You know Goro, right? Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
He like okay, we'll compare him to the
he's
classic
CG,
film.
Right? In this one, he was a robot puppet back then. To be fair.
Okay, but they could have like his proportions were so off in that movie. In that movie,
you know,
in the 90s.
they filmed most of the '95 in Thailand, but he did all of his work in a sound studio.
Okay.
They didn't because they thought that the puppet and the mask would break in shipping.
Oh, I'm sure it would have too.
Yeah, probably.
They probably knew what they were talking about.
Yep.
What do you think of the classic films compared to? I mean, I know besides the fact that it's just on a complete other level. What about like breakdown instead of just forgetting that it's a bad movie, right? The actual story content, like the actual storyline, right? Of it being a more traditional, like the 95 is based off of MK1 and 2.
They did follow that faithfully to the best they could.
Yeah, right. It just left out a lot of the fatalities, the gore. And to be fair, at that time, it would have been really hard to make that stuff look as good as it did in the video game.
Well, yeah, and they also had to make it PG. That's why you never technically see someone die on screen in that movie. They all die, like, off. But one thing I didn't understand, in the 95, they made it PG. Yeah. Sub-Zero freezes that guy and then bashes him into pieces, and his head lands at the feet of Shang Tsung. It
was a different time, right?
Yeah,
90s. A lot of that time there were still movies where like, wait, how is that rated?
Yeah,
that. But you're right. Like it showed at me. We didn't actually. We started watching the second one. I'm sure there's same stuff happening in the second one. We started watching it, and like halfway through, we were like, do we really have to watch this? Is this like we get the point? I've seen the movie before. I don't remember it really, but I don't really want to watch this again. I've already watched 3 other Mortal Kombat movies today. I'm good.
Yeah. You think they're gonna do the same thing and bring in like Shao Kahn now?
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep building and building and building higher tiers of.
Because remember, he goes.
They have to, right?
Oh, I can't spoil anything.
They have to just keep building and building and building, and then slowly bring people into this new universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna add more characters too. They're not just gonna do one.
They have. I mean, we see a lot of characters I didn't expect to see who are modern favorite characters, right? Characters who weren't from the original series are in this movie that are like modern game favorites.
Hinted at, sure. Some of them too.
Yeah, yeah. There's more hinted at
in the lore of it.
So I'm sure we'll see in 2 or 3 years a new movie.
Yeah.
With some more characters coming in.
Let's go into the realm of possibilities. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say Disney saw this on HBO. Disney's like, ooh, ho, right?
Oh, I see money in my future.
Say they buy WB, dude, and let's leave alone the Looney Tunes and stuff, because that's a whole different topic of discussion.
Yeah.
How would they treat Mortal Kombat? You think they'd be episodic?
They would release a series.
You know they'd make animated series of them for sure.
At least, well, okay. Do you think they would keep the violent nature of it, right? Like that's kind of what set HBO apart right now. Like they have the DC, and DC has become a very dark telling of that universe.
Oh, holy cow! Didn't even think about that. They would own both DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Speaking of monopolization of companies,
yeah.
But so they have that. Would they keep those, like Mortal Kombat? Would it be as like, okay, so the animated show I'm talking about, I think it's just called Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Legacy or something, that came out in 2020. That is like, it's from WB Animations, and it is a very legit video game animated film. Like the gore in that, and like just the gruesome fatalities, and like, so they also do something that I'm kind of happy they didn't do in this new movie, but I really appreciated, which was the X-rays. They added the X-rays
cool.
to the fatalities. So when these characters would, the same way they would in the video games, that as soon as that you see like literally the skull fracturing and his brain flying out the back of his head, like,
yeah,
that stuff is like, that was really cool to see in the animated series, right?
That was really cool for them to incorporate.
I don't know that Disney would be willing to put that on their website. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have a part of it or own part of that. I'm just saying I don't know that they would put it on Disney Plus.
Right. Well, maybe they just do the kind of, here, we'll just make money off of you. Keep doing what you're doing kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Buy it. Our own, make 50%, 60% of it. Buy 40%, whatever it is, oh yeah, 40%. So they don't have a majority share of it, but they still are making the profit off of it.
Well, think of the merchandise that really could be. I remember there used to be merchandise. I had a Raiden figurine. Oh, he's looking. He's found something. Target acquired. What has he got here? Oh, he's got a plushie of Scorpion. Okay.
Like, like merchandising. Like, it's gonna happen, bro.
Who made that? Who's that licensed by?
Mezco Toys. I think this came from Loot Crate.
Okay.
This came from Nerd Block, I think. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, but imagine the scale of which Disney would do. Imagine, you get the little thing that attached to your wrist, and it gets to get over here, spitting out a yo-yo.
I mean, to be fair, superheroes aren't portrayed as these, like, in kids stuff, right? These characters aren't, like, superheroes aren't portrayed as these violent beings. But then you watch something like any of the DC movies that are made.
Like Batman's breaking legs and shit, dude.
But what's that? Watchmen, right? Like that. Like, that's like a true telling of what superhero life would actually be like, right? Gruesome, like, oops, I killed a guy. I forgot how strong I was. Sorry.
Well, I mean, Deadpool.
That is about the only, like, true over-the-top character they have.
Slade is DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what we're saying, like if you look at the new Titan series, that is gruesome. Excuse me. Like, the things Robin does in that series is like, I was not ready for that.
I was very glad to see that. Yeah, I was very glad to see that.
I was too. I never read the comics though, right? And so I don't know how true they are to the comics. And I was a fan of the animated series when I was in high school. And actually, I do watch. I watch Teen Titans Go still. So, like, I'm a fan of that genre of those series. Like those creators and those voice actors are like some of my favorites. So when I saw this telling of it, I was like, oh, that's quite gruesome. I never thought I'd saw Starfire do that, but hey, man, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll leave casting alone on that.
Yeah, whatever. It's their choice. It's their movie, right?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they, and I'm sure it'd be awful for the actor playing Beast Boy that they didn't just paint him green and make him Mini Hulk, you know. But
it could have a lot to do with that too. Like they didn't want to.
Yeah. Make a Jim Carrey out of him. Just absolutely hates being the Grinch, you know.
Yeah.
That poor man. He did the Dr. Seuss thing too. That was Mike Myers.
The Cat in the Hat or whatever.
Yeah, that's Mike Myers.
I know. I remember watching it, but it was a long time ago, and I was not probably into it. I don't remember anything really bad. I remember it being kind of like, as a kid, being kind of like scary almost even because like.
I love that scene with the baseball bat, dude.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Oh boy, we're gonna have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, we'll have to go do that. Yeah. We recently found, what is it? It's on Chrome. We found like we started using one of those watch together apps, where like if two of you have like the same subscription, you can invite and watch together. And we're thinking about actually doing maybe some live commentary through it. If you guys are interested in joining us on that and would be interested, just let us know.
Yeah, I'll definitely make you laugh.
And remember, it'll be unrated, with absolutely zero filter. So maybe it will probably get some good times. Check out a link in below. If we are gonna do that, that's where it will show up. It'll update as soon as that starts happening. Yeah. Why don't we move on to some like the video games that we actually played? Like
Yeah.
Oh, did it die?
Did what die, sir?
I had MK Gold playing. No, I think it's my USB hub died.
I think mine froze actually too. Isn't that something?
It's
mine froze up as well. Yeah, mine froze.
Your console overheat or what?
I don't think so. Let me see if I can sneak around all this PlayStation madness.
While you're working on that though, I'll continue here. So
I can't
like
believe that froze.
we played a lot of these games, but we were never really like true fans, I'd say. I mean, we were obviously we love Midway games,
Yep.
and we really liked playing them. But I don't think. Well, we were kind of playing DOA at the time, too, but and we were also born in '94, so this game kind of predates us a bit.
Well, we weren't supposed to play it, right?
We weren't supposed to play it. But, you know, I do love MK1. When I do play it, I still get enjoyment out of it. It's still a good game. MK2 is basically the same thing, just better. But then we played Armageddon, I think.
Yeah.
And then we played Shaolin Monks.
Yeah, Shaolin Monks is a really fun one. That was a good take on the series.
Yeah, that was really good. It was good to have a co-op game like that in the series, right? Couch co-op, sit down, play with your friend, and like the best duo you could ever play. There was two different choices of teams, right? Or was it just Liu Kang and?
Well, you unlock the other ones later.
Okay, so you have to play as Liu Kang and what's his name?
Yeah, Liu Kang, Kung Lao.
Yeah, Kung Lao. And then you unlock the other characters. And then we probably didn't play really again. I'm sure we kept up with the series, but we didn't play it religiously until like I played 9. You say you play 11. You really like 11 on the PS4, and you just got it.
I like 9 as
today.
well. I was playing 9 a little bit, capturing some footage for this video.
Okay. I like the fatalities in 9.
Yeah, me too.
But then 10 like went over the top with the fatalities, didn't it? I never played that one.
I picked up 10. I'm waiting for it to arrive.
Okay.
So I haven't played it. I'm sure it's just as good as the rest of them, though.
Yeah. You know, I have to say that's probably been one of my favorite thing about doing this Skorne Lair series that we're doing here. Is it's made me want to like collect certain series, right? The stuff we talk about, I'm like, oh, I really want to grab that.
Right.
And it's made me much more likely to like pay the value of something instead of trying to find like a ridiculous deal on it, and like actually enjoy having it in my collection instead of just being like, oh, look at this game that everybody wants that I have.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I have done the same thing. I just bought Mortal Kombat for the Genesis. I gotta pick it up Monday.
So those other two characters in Shaolin Monks are Scorpion and Sub-Zero, respectively.
Yeah.
And also hidden in the files of that game, not so hidden, you can unlock it, is MK2.
Okay.
So that's it's technically emulation at that point. You're emulating a PS1 game through PS2.
Does that mean we could emulate other games through it? Well, you don't need to. If it's a PS2 game, you can just
it's
just put your PS1 game in it and it'll run fine.
Right. But yeah, a lot of those open ends do work like that.
Yeah, right. That's the whole thing with the which GameCube game is that? That you can play Game Boy games. It's Pokemon Stadium, right?
That's for N64.
N64. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy player. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the GameCube. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what do you think? Did like the movie do the games justice? Like, did it? Like, it's a good movie. We liked the fan service in it, but that doesn't mean that like the movie made me want to play the games. I'm not saying that it didn't make me want to play the games either. Like, what do you think though? Like, did it do it justice?
Okay, so the choreographed fights were good, but I mean, I got my fan service as a Liu Kang fan, but like a lot of people's characters weren't there, right? That's not spoiler territory. The movie's only how long precisely?
Yeah,
and
they're
trying to build the story from the ground up.
Yeah, and they kind of need to.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see a cool move that I've loved since I've been a fan of the series. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody listening, you know what.
Yeah, we're not going to say it, but if you're a Liu Kang fan, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. And
I mean, on both fronts, right? Like every character I saw that I enjoy playing as did a move that I love, if not their fatality that I love, which was cool. Like, yeah, maybe they're not as gory as the video games, but it was also much more realistic on the gore side in that aspect.
There was one point in the movie I remember. It looked like he was gonna someone was gonna take down another person, and they just like jabbed him right. Like, oh, he messed up the fatality combo.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's some things like that in there that you're like, oh, I get it. So yeah, in a way,
I wasn't sure if that's what they meant, but that's all I felt when I saw that moment. I was like, he just failed. But if I remember right, after that he does his fatality. So, it has been like almost 24 hours since I saw the film now. So maybe I'm wrong, but
I'm gonna go watch it again after this.
It's great. It's
a good movie. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I might give it another week before I watch it again. I might wait till I pick it up on physical too. I kind of do want a physical of this movie. It's one of the few movies that I have ever wanted a physical of, but it's a video game movie that's actually pretty good. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, okay. To be fair, I want the bad video game movies on VHS too, like Mario and Mortal Kombat and Dead or Alive would get on DVD in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So.
What other movies are there? Bad movies of video games.
Bad video game movies. For some people, Sonic.
The original Sonic render, sure, yeah.
Well,
I like Jim Carrey's Eggman in that.
I like Jim Carrey's Eggman in that.
Dr. Robotnik.
But at the same time, I don't like that movie. So.
Yeah.
I'm on both sides of that.
The whole rings being portals things was a bit weird.
I like that though, because like how else are they gonna explain that why Sonic needs these rings?
He's greedy. It's
but
greed.
like, yeah, he could have been like a thief in the right. But like, how are they gonna explain this hedgehog inside of the normal world?
Yeah.
But then, how do you explain Eggman?
Okay, so you probably know of this, and if you don't, I'm sorry to bless you with this wonderful movie. There is a Street Fighter game made into a movie, made into a game. It is just the worst. The game and the movie are awful.
The Street Fighter movies are pretty awful too.
There's one that they made a movie about the game, and then they made a game about that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just terrible.
Street Fighter is infamous for this in their series, right? Street Fighter, Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Super Turbo, you know, like, it's like the same game released 3 times a year with a few add-ons or twists or...
It's FIFA. It's FIFA for fighting games.
In a way, at least in the 90s, it was FIFA for the fighting games. Because it was on every console, and there was like 12 versions on every console.
Yeah. I did pick up I guess it's an anthology for the Switch. It has a lot of classics on it. Yeah. It's fun to go back and play every once in a while.
I have only played Street Fighter vs. Capcom, so...
I think maybe the classics, they're going to have like and they're going to spell the K, Mortal Kombat KLASSIC edition coming soon, probably, with the first 3 or 4.
Okay. Kind of like they did for like Doom and...
yeah, I think that's coming now.
I mean, the Switch is the perfect console for that, right?
It is.
Like the Game Boy, the Nintendo DS, 3DS was one of the best consoles for that already, and then like the Switch has this large screen, a better processor, and can actually play these games.
You shush. Those Game Boy Mortal Kombat games were awful.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say Game Boy. Yeah. Don't worry.
Keep them off the Switch.
I meant bringing classic games to, like, when they started bringing them to the 3DS, right? Yeah. They were really good on the 3DS. When they started bringing, like, the arcade, like, when they brought the classic store to the 3DS, and they had, like, you know, Super Mario, or SNES games, all the way to, like, I think they just had really SNES games, NES games, and Game Boy Advance games. But, like, that was awesome on the Switch, to have on the 3DS. To have that on a console that can actually run it in the way it was meant to be run originally. It looks good on the Doom part. Like like Republic Commando looks really good.
Yeah, it still plays
and like
clunky, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know, and there's a lot of ports for Switch that I feel that way about, that I haven't picked up even because of that.
They're still fun to go back and play.
Yeah,
I use a Pro controller.
Yeah, and that would help. That would help.
But, you know, maybe if I would use something like that. But that's not going to work for, like, Republic Commando. No.
They need to release more controllers for the Switch. I think I really want them to release a 64 classic.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to come up with some bullshit how 64 is hard to emulate on the Switch or something, but
they could just as easily make it so you can pop in any USB controller and map the buttons.
Why not?
That should be a universal thing in gaming at this point.
Yeah, totally.
If I want to pop in my original, I'd have to have an adapter, but if I want to play with my original Xbox controller on an Xbox One or Xbox Series X, I should be able to.
You should be able to, totally.
I got this really cool adapter for the GameCube that allows you to plug in a SNES controller.
From like, is that like aftermarket or is that from Nintendo?
Yeah, that's aftermarket. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, you can go back. Like Animal Crossing on the GameCube has NESs in the game. It actually emulates the NES games. So going back and popping that controller and playing it just feels natural. You can play the original Mario or Donkey Kong, and you know you got an analog controller.
Totally.
Most of the GameCube's analog. Well, all of it's analog, really, but
right.
Unless you're playing on the Switch with one of their GameCube controllers.
I remember that being one of your biggest complaints about Mario Sunshine on the Switch.
Yeah.
Is that you couldn't play with an analog controller.
And they updated it.
Yeah. Isn't the Nintendo Switch GameCube controller analog
Digital. It's digital.
Because I swear, when I was playing on Dolphin the other day, I was able to use it, like feather it or whatever.
Could you?
Yeah. Like when I was in the settings, that's what it was. I was in the menu and I was like setting up my controller mapping, and I could like, yeah. It was like recognizing how far I was pushing down on it, which is what made me like. I was like, is it analog or is it like some sensor in there that is converting it?
Sensor. It's digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did make it so you can plug in your GameCube controllers and actually spray while you're running.
Yeah. That is quite painful.
Which they have a button map to that on the Switch controllers. Because there's more buttons than there was in the GameCube. But
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's one thing, man. Look back, okay? We got the original PlayStation. I don't have original PlayStation controller in my hand. But let's go from PS2, right? Think about the PS2. Think about the N64. I guess that's not fair. Think about the GameCube. Think about the original Xbox. 3 controllers, right? Now think about the PS3. Think about the Xbox 360. And think about the Wii.
Yeah.
Think about the PS4. Think about the Xbox One. And think about the Wii U. Nintendo's pretty wicked with their controllers every time.
Yeah, I mean, they have good reason to be.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It always comes back to perfection, though. Every single time there's an adapter.
Did you know that they wanted to basically make the Wii U was really supposed to be the Wii, but they couldn't. They decided they really couldn't put the screen in the controller yet, and so then they used like that whatever.
That's the way Nintendo's always been, though, right?
Yeah.
Big ideas, not enough technology.
Yeah, true.
That's the difference, man. Look at Sega.
Yeah.
They always had the technology and the ideas, somehow.
Until they failed, but yeah.
Yeah, there's some crazy hardware for that Genesis. There's crazy peripherals.
Too much. I see. That's kind of why they failed, though, right? They pushed it too far.
They flooded that market. Yeah.
They should have been willing to sit on technology longer. If they want, I mean, as a business, I'm not saying that as a consumer. I'm not like give me more, but as a business move, they should have been willing to sit on that, not release as many units of stuff, like, you know, make things worth something, that kind of shit. Because, I mean, I have a 32X and stuff, and like it's just too much.
It's a lot. You start getting the tower power there.
But they also did this thing where they released. Yeah, they had the tower power, but then they had like the Sega. They had a Sega Genesis they released that had the 32X built in. They had a Sega CD and an adaptation that you could add, or you could buy it in the console too. Like they had a version of it with the CD on it. Like they just put too far and too short of a time when they should have made a Genesis, waited 7 years, and made a Saturn instead of what they did.
I don't know. I have a Dreamcast now, and it's sad they failed.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, that's what this is playing on back here, Dreamcast.
Yeah, they really cared about bringing the arcade to the console.
Yeah. We
don't have that anymore, really. But arcades aren't really prevalent anymore at that.
Yeah. Well,
that's where Mortal Kombat started, man.
Yeah. Yeah, arcade. 91, I believe. Yeah, I said in the beginning, right? 91. Mm-hmm. And I think Mortal Kombat 2 came out in 93, 92 or 93. Like right away. Like they dropped it like right away again with the improvements, updated characters and fixes.
I thought the SNES version with the pre-rendered sprites was very cool.
It is. It is very cool that you can even play it on the SNES. But you're right when you say like the Dreamcast is like one of the only consoles that can properly emulate arcade.
Yeah.
Which is insane because arcade is like literally the history of gaming is arcade machines. Without them, without arcades, the industry would not be where it is right now. Like again, just to say the same thing. I mean, without like the Atari and the NES, they'd be nowhere either. But you have to have the games being made in order to have those games in your home. So,
you had to have Pong to have Virtua Tennis.
Yeah, you do. To have Mortal Kombat, to have Call of Duty, like you have to have these beginnings. You have to have Pitfall.
Yeah,
man.
And to have Call of Duty, you have to have $60 burning a hole in your pocket.
Every year.
Every year.
Same with FIFA fans.
Same with FIFA.
And more Madden fans and any other EA fans. Although I will say now with, it is also the most expensive subscription out there, but with the EA Access or whatever it's called, if you're a fan of like FIFA and stuff, you do. I can't say that because you're still paying like $150 a year in order to play the game too, and the only benefit you get is Star Wars.
Is there not a bundle for that with Game Pass now?
I think
it's like an extra $2, right?
It might be. I have it on Steam for a while, and I had it through the EA web thing for a while, and so I was paying the $15. I don't know what it is now because I realized it wasn't worth it, so I stopped.
You notice gaming really goes up in trends too, man. You know, we went from the better graphics, right? It's always going to be a drive for graphics between some companies, but Sega and Nintendo, they're like, oh, look at our new system, we have more colors. And then you move on to patch gaming, right? People start putting out games before they're ready. They patch it. And they're still doing this to an extent. Oh, they absolutely are still doing this. But now we're getting into subscription gaming. It's a new era of gaming now. Everybody wants to sell their service. And it's adding up to have all these services, man.
Yeah.
I mean, as a human race, service is our leading. The service industry is our leading job market.
And it kind of always has been. I mean, because in a way you could say
trade.
Yeah. I mean, what isn't a service when it comes to like household things like plumbing and electrical work and all that kind of stuff? But
I used to call it games as a service, right? That's their model.
That's the whole this whole subscription games as a service. But it's been great to get because it's gotten gaming into more households. I mean, the companies are making more money, sure, and like which, in a way that's like kind of gross.
They're making more profit with less overhead.
Yeah, and like I think the one place where I think it's gross is Stadia because most of these games are coming out on consoles that people already own.
Yeah.
But you have to pay $50 or $60 to play it on the web, on the cloud. You know, like give me the game for $30, $20 if I'm gonna play it, not own the game, and you're gonna keep it on your servers. Like, yeah, give me a deal. I'm not paying $60 for that.
I believe the same with digital, man. I think it should be cheaper than physical.
I agree because you're at least $10, right? Like you gotta take into manufacturing costs, the CD costs, or the disc, depending on what console you're playing, DVD or Blu-ray, or cartridge, right? With Switch, which I think everything should go back to cartridge anyway. But
I mean, as harmful as that's going to be to us physical collectors, that's how it should be. It should be cheaper to buy digital.
I'll pay $20 more a game. I will. I
want to pay the same amount for my physical game. I want the digital to be cheaper for that.
No. I meant if they switch to cartridge, right?
Yeah, don't you raise the price on physical.
But like if they switch to cartridge, right? if say the PS6. Okay, this sucks because we just started a new generation. This analogy.
Let's say the Xbox 1280. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's say they add a cartridge slot again. Right, like the Switch. Like I would pay $10 more a month, or $10 more, $20 more a game, because it's costing them more to manufacture that game.
Yeah.
As a collector, when the only people who are going to be collecting physical are collectors. Like nobody else is buying physical anymore. but people who want the games on their shelves, and they're gonna pay. Okay, they're gonna complain about it, but they're gonna pay that price.
Sure.
I mean, and cartridges are the only. Okay, they can go bad too, but they're gonna last. Yeah, take care of them, and they're gonna last into your grandchildren's generations, not just yours.
Is that us being materialistic though? Like, ooh, stuff.
I mean, I guess as I look over here and I see 4 dozen video games just staring me in the face, I guess, yeah. But at the same time, I don't buy digital anymore because it feels wrong, right? It feels like I'm not. I love it. I love it too. For you guys who do collect digital, I get it. I get owning every game digital too, because it's just so much easier to play.
Especially on the Switch.
I did it on the PS4 too. I was talking about it last week, I think. On the PS4, I did end up buying like a good portion of my games. Like
I did too.
It is easier. It is much easier. And at that time, I was not into collecting video games. I was collecting, but I wasn't into like it being the thing I do with video games is collect video games. So
it was really a shock. I went back to my PS3 to capture footage for MK9, and I had 6 PS1 games. That's all I had. That's all I purchased digital. And then you go to my PS4, and I have I suppose 80, 90 titles. Especially when they have their sales, man. When they have their flash sales.
It's the same thing with Steam, right? It's why I have 150, 60, 200 games. I don't even know what I have in Steam anymore because every time there's a sale, it's like, oh, this game's $2. Oh, this game that I've wanted for 2 years is now $10 instead of 50. Like, I'm gonna spend that money if it's worth it to me. If that's a game I value. And
you
on
might
PC
not play
side,
it for 10 years.
yeah, but I might play it eventually. And on the PC side, I 100% agree with digital.
Yeah.
100% because one, CDs are just not reliable. I don't want to buy flash drives for video games. That is one thing I don't want to do because when I was in the band, like I knew a lot of bands who would sell CDs on flash drives, and it's just like it didn't feel right to me. It's still cool, but not the way I want to collect video games.
Yeah, that'd be a bit weird.
I mean,
just having a drawer full of them labeled.
I guess like just have a wall like organized. Like, right, like just put nails in a wall, like a grid of nails, and just have like keychains hanging.
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Don't give them ideas.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, it's kind of cool, but they're not gonna do that anyway because it costs them way too much money. When they can sell you, when they can sell you it digitally.
A license. License.
Sell you a license to play their game that you don't actually own,
which can be revoked at any time.
Exactly. That's what we have gotten in arguments in the past with people about how you don't own this game. Like yeah, you probably will always have. You likely will always have access to these digital games. It is likely. In fact, it's very likely that these stores in your lifetime are going to be around. But you never know what's going to happen to Valve. You never know what's going to happen to Sony. Like
Sony could decide to leave the game console market.
Very, very unlikely. But it is true. It's true.
Xbox could absolutely decide, you know what? We're just going to make games now. We're just going to be game studio. And we're going to sell. Or they're buying the developers, man. You know, they're not buying up
Game Pass.
They're not buying R&D.
They're not going to stop making the Xbox because of how much money they make off of it.
Yeah.
And
absolutely,
because they can say, hey, this is the game, this is the console to play Game Pass with. And that's what that's why I don't discourage digital collection. Is because it's not likely. It's not likely this is going to happen.
Have you seen? Okay, I should have mentioned this in gaming news, but it wasn't on the top of my mind.
Okay.
Phil Spencer has done 2 interviews now through his webcam. Both times there's been a Nintendo Switch strategically placed on his shelf.
Really?
Different, yeah, like different placement of it strategically.
Cool.
There is 100% a deal going down between Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios, and Nintendo.
Yeah.
100%. There's a deal going down. I mean, Microsoft gave them Cuphead already. They gave them Banjo for Smash.
What if you saw Game Pass on the Switch?
Oh man, wouldn't that be something?
I'm sure you want to get all the games, but if you saw, like, so say Game Pass, as part of, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, which already gives you access to the Xbox and PC version of Game Pass, also gives you access to the Switch version.
Yeah.
Like, if you, and then, like, you get, you know, even if it starts off with 10 games that are already on the Switch, you know, and they add Sea of Thieves or something, and, like, I don't know. Like,
maybe they're trying to make a deal with them for Rare. Maybe they're bringing the N64 games to Switch Online. And, you know, that's going to bring in Banjo. That's going to bring in GoldenEye.
If they can get the license for James Bond, because that's not just a license against the game Rare, Rare. It's also the license for James Bond movies.
Correct.
And likeliness of the actors and stuff. Everything.
Both the Banjo games, absolutely.
For sure. Star Fox. Oh wait, that's
maybe Perfect Dark. No, you're right. They helped
Rare made Star Fox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, I wasn't wrong.
But Nintendo does own Star Fox.
But yeah, I was saying Nintendo owns it, so they could totally bring it back without Rare.
Yeah, they already did SNES versions.
Yeah. The IP is.
That's what I can think that they're doing is they're trying to work with Rare, but maybe you're right. Maybe Game Pass.
Man, I mean,
what a world.
They're
maybe it's Master Chief. Maybe it's Chief coming, dude.
Chief in Smash Bros.
Maybe it's Chief in Smash. Maybe it's Halo coming to the Switch, dude. You know, you have
Halo 1, right? Halo 3 wouldn't play on the Switch, right? Would it?
They'd probably have to dumb down the graphics, right? Yeah.
Maybe less enemies.
Combat Evolved could play on the Switch.
Oh yeah, in its original graphics, maybe not Combat Evolved Anniversary, but
Halo Wars 1 and 2.
Oh, that'd be good. Gears of War, maybe the first one.
That's possible, yeah.
That's more of Halo 3 time though, isn't it? Gears 1. It might be a little tough. It might have been Gears 2 that came out with Halo 3.
Gears came around, yeah. Halo 3.
Yeah, Perfect Dark though would be great. In fact,
oh, you know, and they also made that Diddy Kong racing game, and the Donkey Kong games. You need Rare for Donkey Kong 64 probably to sign off.
Yeah. Little Perfect Dark action. Bring it.
Right on.
Please bring me.
There's the remake. Yeah.
Please.
I actually have the N64 in box.
Yeah?
Believe it or not. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You know, since
this was definitely a good find.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, since you're all for showing off games, maybe it's
always show and tell.
Maybe it's time we do a little segment that we like to do weekly here. You know the one I'm talking about.
I believe it starts with a K. No, that's not right. A Z. L? Oh, it's an N!
That would be Name That Game! I actually have one for you this week.
I think I felt that in the floor. Alright. Okay. I've got it pulled up. I got it ready to go. I haven't watched it yet.
It is themed. We're doing a theme this week.
Okay, so this is gonna be our first themed.
I will give you I'll give you the console.
All right.
It came out on 2 consoles in North America in 1997. The N64 was in December 8th, 1997, and the PlayStation came out October 1st, 1997. So you could say it was ported to the N64.
Okay.
All right. Obviously, the Midway Games, great company, developed the PlayStation, and then the port company is Avalanche Software.
All right.
Both published by Midway.
All right. Let me get this playing, and let's see if I can figure this out. You can keep going if you want. Let's see. Yeah. I see Sub-Zero. Ooh. Okay, it's like a beat 'em up?
Yeah, in a way. It is single player. It's not a multiplayer game.
Okay.
It's action adventure, beat 'em up, and platforming. It is considered a spinoff. One
Oh.
of 3, actually.
So yeah, it's like a platformer. I see that. Yeah, it's got. We just saw Sub-Zero about get hit with Sub-Zero get hit with a pillar that's crashing to the ground. Oh shoot! I don't know the name of this game.
No?
No. I've never seen gameplay of this.
It's a bit of a gem. I had to think, because you know what when you think of Mortal Kombat, you definitely don't think of something like that.
No, oh, that was cool. Yeah, man. I gotta say, I'm not sure I've ever seen this game. Although you did just get murdered. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna forfeit.
How about a guess? Can we get a guess? I'm going to tell you this. They did not take long to name this game. It didn't take them long at all. The drawing board was... they wrote down 2 things, and they're like, yep, that's it.
I don't think I'm right, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Nope, that is incorrect.
Okay. What do we got?
The actual title for this game is Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. But it's called Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero.
I've heard of the game. I've never seen gameplay of it. I have seen the name before, probably in stores or something.
It wasn't really received very well.
Bro, you gotta get better at this game is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's I haven't played that, I suppose, since, I don't know, 2004, 2005.
All right.
Yeah.
I've never seen a platformer Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I was going to choose Mortal Kombat Special Forces on the PS1 for you.
I know that one, yeah.
It's the one that takes place before Mortal Kombat, and you only get to play as Jax.
Okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to name it either, though.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting title that they put out. That Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero.
Right. I like it. I might check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You probably do better than I will with about 15 minutes gameplay.
Yeah, I died a lot. You got hit a lot.
Yeah, those pillars, if you notice in that gameplay, if you don't move backwards, the pillars don't go back up. They track you.
Oh.
Oh, it's a fun one, yeah.
Okay.
And all of your fighting moves are done with the C-pad.
Gross.
Disgusting, yeah.
Ouch. That's awful, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you use I believe, the B button to look either east or west while you're fighting as well.
Wow. That sounds like unplayable, but probably not. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's like, that's my favorite game, and you're just...
Right.
Yeah,
You're
man,
back.
so, 0 and 1.
0 and 1, sir.
1 and 1. It's funny. I know next week's score, but 1 and 1.
Right. Yeah. 1 and 1.
And
oh no! What do you mean? I'm 1 and 0, sir.
well, I guess 1 of 1. Yeah, 1 and 0.
Yeah, 1 of 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So 0, 1. Okay, backwards. 0, 1. 1, 0. Yep.
Yeah, that would be the correct way of. Yep. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd have you stumbled there or not.
You know. It's okay. I think we should kind of push each other to be a little bit more games we don't know anyway, because we want to push this into a little bit more challenging thing anyway. So,
in hindsight, would that have been a good title for you to just? Was that a good title for them to name that game that? Mortal
Sub-Zero?
Kombat Sub-Zero. I told you that didn't take long for them to name.
Do you think? Oh, what if it did? What if like they spent a year and like brainstorming, right? And then at somebody at the bench is like, dude, we are way overthinking this. People want Sub-Zero. Let's just call it Sub-Zero.
There's no background. There's no text-based story to the beginning of that. It just puts you right into it.
Sounds
in the beginning. You are standing across the hall from Scorpion.
Okay. So there's a tiny bit of subtext.
Yeah, you're chasing Scorpion.
Yeah. But you have to know that you don't like Scorpion in order. Because, I remember the first time I played Mortal Kombat, I thought they were brothers.
Right, yeah. Him and Reptile, too. You think that they're all just different colored ninjas, right?
Yeah, I did. And I think in the first Mortal Kombat, there's not much lore, is there? Or is there?
I don't think so. Maybe I just didn't read it. I'm not sure.
There might be some, screen that pops up somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
I've never beat the game, actually. I just bought on Genesis, like I said, so maybe I'll play through it when I pick it up on Monday.
Sure.
Get the Genesis dusted off and play that.
So, if you had to choose a Mortal Kombat game, what game are you choosing for people to go out, if they can find it, to pick up and play?
If you can pick it up physically, I'm gonna have to. I think we're both getting on the same game here. But Shaolin Monks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah. It's honestly, this is probably selfish of us because I don't want to say selfish. What's the word? We're probably a little bit biased here. We played this game together, pretty regularly. I don't know if we ever actually beat it. But we would go back and play it through from the beginning all the time.
Yeah.
Two of our favorite Mortal Kombat characters. And it was great is we each got to play as our favorite because we don't have the same favorite character. So we each got to play as our favorite character.
And whether or not you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, that's a great beat 'em up.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's great fun as a couch co-op game because it's not challenging, but it's not easy.
Yeah, it can be played single player too.
Yeah, it is. It is a good single player game.
I played a little bit for the footage for this, and
yeah,
it's not the same.
Playing right now.
It's not the same.
Oh no. And there's something about the fun of the chaos of it.
Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I could launch an enemy at you, and you could use the bladed hat to cut them in half.
I believe there's a bunch of different, or a few different combos, partner combos.
And there are fatalities in the game.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you find it in good condition, I think it's worth having in your collection because if anyone comes over who's not a fan of Mortal Kombat, that's the Mortal Kombat game to play. If anyone who comes over is a fan, you're gonna want to play, MK2 or one of the newer ones or whatever. But
probably 11, right?
Now, yeah. Well, it depends on the, who is it, right? Are we a retro
It depends
gamer,
what console you have too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have 4 or newer, PlayStation 4 newer, I'm gonna recommend.
As I dump my game on the floor.
I'm gonna recommend 11, but if you are, 10's pretty good too, and so is 9. So
9 on PlayStation 3, you get to play as Kratos.
Yeah,
it's God of War.
Yeah, I had it on the 360. I don't anymore, but
they do a lot of that, and they also do that with other franchises too. Like we were speaking of Dead or Alive for the Xbox is the way that we like to play that. You could play as a Spartan.
4. Yeah, Dead or Alive 4 had Spartan 348, I think is the
something like that.
458, something like that.
Yeah. Generic Master Chief moveset.
Very strong, powerful, kind of like what's his name, Bayman.
Yeah, grenades and stuff.
Yeah. Strong kicks. Energy. He does have the plasma sword, which is kind of cheating. She has the plasma sword, which is kind of cheating.
My favorite Soul Calibur is 2 on the Nintendo GameCube, and it has Link from Legend of Zelda.
I didn't know 2 had Link. I played 5 on the Xbox 360, and it has.
Oh sure.
It has the Apprentice from The Force Unleashed.
Okay.
And Darth Vader.
Wasn't Vader on PlayStation?
No, Yoda was.
I thought Yoda was on Xbox.
Maybe background. Maybe you play as the Apprentice and Yoda, and then PlayStation had Darth Vader. Maybe the Apprentice is on both.
I think PSP has the Apprentice as well.
Okay. I know that it had the Apprentice, or at least you're gonna fight against him, because there's Star Wars levels in that one. It was the only Soul Calibur game I gave a really big shot. I played that game for quite a while. I did a lot of the custom characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool game.
The whole series.
Yeah, I have that coming back to my collection too.
Good. I still have it. I can't wait to back to Iowa and pick up my 360 collection.
Yeah.
Like, now that I have the space for it.
There's a couple games that I really regret letting go.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and I got to build them back up. That's what collecting is for me, at least. It's getting things that I know that I'm going to want to play again.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think I've gone on a discovery on that part, right? Like I wasn't sure what I wanted to collect, and then I like wasn't sure if I wanted to collect, and then I realized how much what it is that means something to me actually. Like the Xbox 360 and Microsoft, it really kind of made me a gamer with the Halo series. So I was like, oh, I gotta collect Microsoft, and it's cheap. So cheaper. Nothing's cheap in the video game industry, but
one great thing about a WB owning Mortal Kombat now is you have Injustice, which allows you to play Scorpion, and you have Injustice 2, which allows you to play Sub-Zero and fight characters from the DC universe. Much better than Mortal Kombat.
Did you see Raiden's in those games?
Oh, Raiden is in 2 as well.
I was saying that's what I was saying. I really want Grogu in that game.
You said Grogu again.
Grogu again. Oh my gosh. That's next week. We'll talk about that one next. No, no, I can't even.
Goro.
Thank you, Goro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I really want to watch Goro rip Batman's arms off. You know, cool. I wish there was fatalities, man.
Yeah, the superhero moves are cool, but yeah, fatalities would be.
We were talking about how they should remake that now that DC is starting to go pretty dark.
Yeah.
Because it'd be kind of cool that they remake it and bring some of that in now that they aren't afraid for Batman to kill somebody or Superman to destroy half of a city with his laser eyes. Like, and a lot of the comics and stuff have gotten really dark with the Harley Quinn comic series and stuff, book series, the animated series speech. Because that game is really good. I was watching Steve play it earlier, and it's really good. But it's I want I don't need it. I just really want those Mortal Kombat features in it. Yep. It's totally a great game without it. But imagine ripping Superman's head off. Like, come on, man. Please let me do it. Please let me do it.
Even if you just have Superman versus Batman, you know, let Batman's fatality for Superman be stuffing kryptonite down his throat.
Oh my god, they have like character special fatalities, right? So like dude. Superman
has like to die by kryptonite.
Oh my gosh, that'd be kind of cool.
Batman gets that cut off.
Yeah, but like no, I just mean like each character has their own fatality for another character, right? Like so, Batman has one for Joker or has one for this, and then Superman has one for Joker or Batman, like, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd just be different ways of killing Superman with kryptonite for every character. That's the only way to weaken him, right? And lore.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like Joker would play a trick on him, and then he'd open up the thing and it'd be kryptonite.
Just kryptonite and a gun, shoot him in the forehead.
Oh, instead of bang?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like the fake gun, but it's the real one for once. Yeah, man. Favorite character from Mortal Kombat. Let's do that before we do anything else here. Guess we run ahead. Let's say original cast.
My favorite character to play as. Can we not do original cast?
Let's do both.
Okay.
Let's do original cast and let's do all time.
Well, I already said my favorite is, what's his face?
Kung Lao. Yeah.
Kung Lao. But I'm gonna say my favorite modern is Cabal.
Okay.
I like his play style. I like his movement speed, his hook. I don't know. I just like his moveset. I guess really. It's not even his finishers or anything. Like, it's literally like playing him. It makes me feel really comfortable in the fighting game. But yeah, I'd say there's something about that hat though. Something about like those fatalities with that hat. Oh, they're brutal.
Oh, Kung Lao, yeah, of course.
Brutal, man. I know your favorite character is.
You got it, Liu Kang.
Liu Kang. It's not late or anything, and I haven't been up for 18 hours or anything. But
from the new series, just specifically MK11,
yeah.
I think playing as Joker and Spawn is really cool. I haven't had a whole lot of time playing as Schwarzenegger or Rambo, Stallone. What
about Mortal Kombat characters, actually?
Actual Mortal Kombat characters? It's Liu Kang all day. Second favorite's got to be Scorpion.
Okay, yeah. Even
I
to
like
this
Scorpion.
Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
His lore and everything, and when people try to run away from you and you just, grab them with that hook, get over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But so since Scorpion has always been your favorite, or your second favorite to me anyway. Like I always knew that, I guess, because I used to get destroyed when I played against you because you would play Scorpion. But and I can never master Sub-Zero. But you were saying then about Joker and Spawn.
Yeah.
Now,
that's one thing I love about the fighting series of games is they always bring in new cast of characters.
Freddy.
Don't necessarily belong. Yeah, Jason Voorhees and Freddy for the 360 version.
PS4 too, right? Was Freddy?
No, PS3 only got Kratos, oddly.
Oh, PS3. Oh, Kratos. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Only got Kratos.
Yeah,
I don't know if Xbox
Freddy
had a deal with them or. Yeah, very cool though.
So does the Switch have the same characters as?
I haven't opened it yet. I sure hope so. Because I've fallen in love with the added characters.
What if it's like just two different DC characters or something?
Just Mario.
Oh, I love it. I want to rip Mario's heart out of his chest.
Ganondorf would be cool. He'd fit.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
He'd be right height and everything too.
Yeah.
There's other characters. Banjo.
Bowser,
in his cartoon form and everything. Yeah, Bowser would be dirty, man. The fire, like breathing fire on somebody's face.
Just take his exact moveset from Smash Bros. Just leaps him in the air and crushes him. And imagine his fatality with the shell, dude.
So let's talk about Mortal Kombat clones.
Okay.
Why are there so many?
As such a successful franchise, everything that's successful comes with clones. But usually it's not from the same company.
Yeah, like Midway released Killer Instincts. Yeah. Not far after, like 96, 98, something? The first Killer Instinct came out?
I think my favorite clone, and it wasn't necessarily a straight clone of the 2D fight, but, they got away from that. They got into the 3D fight later. But if you ever played BioFreaks for the N64...
Yeah.
I think it came on a Dreamcast too. I don't remember correctly. But the N64 version is what I had, and I can't believe my mother bought it for me when I was a little kid. Because it was brutal. There was finishers. It was just mutants. And you could cut heads off. This one dude had a drill for an arm, and he would just...
Brutal.
Straight impact to the chest, dude.
Totally.
And that was a Midway game too.
Midway...
That was on
Midway
a Nintendo
cloned
console,
their own game.
Yeah, several times.
That's insane.
What? Did they make Primal Rage?
I'll let you look that one up.
Yeah.
I think as people trying to make money off of a successful franchise.
Ain't that some shit? Guess who made Primal Rage? Developed by Atari, published by Time Warner. Warner Brothers.
So they own like every gory fighting game out there.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do.
Didn't a new Killer Instinct come out like 5 years ago or something?
Yeah, there's one for the Xbox One.
I think 360. Xbox One maybe.
360? I thought there's a newer one than that.
It might be. I remember it coming out. Maybe it's because I have a PS4. Maybe I saw it in PS4.
It may have been part of the.
Oh, it was on
replay,
PS
right?
Network. I saw it. Yeah, PlayStation 4 is where I saw it.
Killer Instinct. There's a 2013 game.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I haven't played that. Xbox One. Wow. Yeah, Microsoft Studios through Rare. Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. They kept this going.
Yeah, man. And like, I don't think it's a bad thing there's so many clones.
No.
No,
you gotta have competition.
Yeah, and like we can call Tekken and Street Fighter competition, but they're competition in the fighting game aspect.
Tekken's more competition with Soul Calibur, right?
I think Street Fighter.
Think so?
I mean, it's a lot of button combinations, movesets, knowing character movesets and stuff. Very important.
Yeah.
Very tight controls. Like, you gotta know your combos. It's very much more meant for, like, competition gaming. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not just brawling like Mortal Kombat is. Mortal Kombat has those tightness and controls, but I don't think it has it the way that Tekken does.
Yeah, it's all about combos when it comes to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Tekken's more about timing, right? Timing
and defense, strategy. Knowing your character's movesets, or your opponent's movesets, their lead-ins and stuff. When to block, all that, you know.
There's another game from Midway called War Gods. It looks very similar to the arcade version of Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Doesn't have the cast of characters. Sonya Blade's actually part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it is kind of part of the Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah. And they took the same physical actor of Shao Kahn, and put it over this character in a game called Warhead. So yeah, that's surprising to me that they double dipped.
90s.
It's not surprising to me they double dipped, honestly.
No. Or especially in the arcade industry. Not just the video game industry, but like in the arcades.
You don't hear about them anymore either. Yeah, looking at the screenshots here, it looks like MK1.
Are
but
there
more
any
like arcade graphics.
Okay. Are there any modern Mortal Kombat clones?
Ooh.
Minus the new Killer Instinct and stuff.
Right. I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't know any. I was thinking like it'd be cool to have like a more cartoony version of Mortal Kombat, where like yeah, it's gory and stuff, but it's more like over exaggerated, or like Acme style comedy and character development, you know, and like it's still that violent, but it's like cartoon violence and stuff.
Could you imagine if they put like Scorpion in Smash? They'd have to like super tone it down.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't be killing.
But his moves would work.
His moves would work perfectly for Smash.
Yeah.
He's actually like basically already a Smash character. Get over here, and then his fire breath and like, yeah, you know.
Excuse my dog.
Oh, you're fine. He's
Sitting
the
over
cutest
crying.
puppy ever. It's just like, why not? Like, I mean, we talk about it. Well, this probably won't be the last time we talk about it either. Like, we have always dreamed of there being a Microsoft versus Nintendo versus Sony Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, it only
I mean,
takes 300 gigabytes.
It would, yeah, and it would never work on a publisher and developer sense. Like, they'd be arguing with each other. Nothing would ever get balanced correctly.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have Kratos versus Mario.
The tier list would be so messed up.
It'd be hard to balance.
Because everybody want A tier, S tier, I guess.
Maybe you just limit it, right? Like 5 characters a platform, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it with Microsoft anyway. You're
You definitely have well, yeah, Microsoft doesn't have too many. First party.
Distinct first party characters that would fit well into like a beat 'em up or brawl or fighting game of some sort.
Yeah, obviously you got Chief and Gears of War and.
Yeah, you can put 2 Gears of War characters in there.
Yeah. Chief and Arbiter. There you got 4.
So which 4 characters? We were talking Banjo, or like
Sure.
if you want to get more cartoonish, or we have Perfect Dark again. Yeah, there's not too many, but
No,
there
there's
are
not.
some. Like there's some characters from the MSX era and stuff. But that would be really hard to modernize and make people get it.
Yeah.
Um,
You'd have to look at exclusives.
yeah. And then there's
That's where
the
Nintendo really
Sony-
shines.
Sony would be hard to be put against Nintendo because you have like Kratos, the dude from Infamous.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. You know, you got the Horizon Zero Dawn girl.
That's true now. Yeah. You
Yeah.
have that now.
I guess Ghost of Tsushima's a Days Gone. You
But
have
that's
a
coming
lot
to
of.
PC, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
it is
okay.
now.
So are we going to say that bringing it to PC no longer makes it exclusive? Because Sony's bringing a lot of like Horizon Zero Dawn to PC. Does
It's
that
still
make it no
console
longer
exclusive.
it's a console exclusive,
Mhm.
but it's
But
not
all
so
PCs
much.
PC's a
Yeah.
console. There's a console that can do so much more.
Yeah, it's
In the same
basically-
aspect that an iPhone is a console.
Yeah, an iPhone is
run.
a console. Like it's literally just an operating system that runs other apps. Like
Yep.
it's a console, which is exactly what your PlayStation's doing and your Xbox is doing right now. Especially your Switch, right? Like your Switch is literally just push a button and open an app.
Tablet.
Yeah, it's a tablet. So an iPhone might as well. I mean, especially now with like Stadia, and even Apple Arcade has some really good titles that I would play. If I had Apple Arcade still, I would play them on regularly. I still have it downloaded on my Apple TV back in the living room.
Do you remember back when Sony tried to bundle 3G with their console?
No.
With the PS Go, I believe.
Oh,
You
like
think we're
is it
gonna-
like a data plan? Like
Yeah, you think that's coming again?
I would buy it.
Yeah.
I
If you could use your Switch as a phone or an instant messaging tool,
if I could browse the internet on it on the go, yeah.
it only works portable consoles.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would work in other consoles. It just wouldn't be worth it when you have an internet connection in your house. Just connect to Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Right. If the Switch
yeah.
offered that,
I would buy one. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like, I don't
I
have
think
it
it
on.
came too early.
This watch right here. You see this like white mark? Yeah. It's charging. I had the option between choosing the Wi-Fi one or the data one. And like I didn't need the data per se, but like the extra insurance that hey, if I need it, I have it, was enough for me to buy that. So like I imagine if there's a console, it's like hey, when you want to go downtown and you want to still play your Switch, play your Switch. Or like I have a lot of downtime at work when I'm working, and to be able to play online without having to find like a convention center password from some office somewhere would be great.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's really hard to track down if you don't know the right person.
I think it'd be good for how big online gaming's getting too. Like if you could play Smash anytime, anywhere, that's a huge selling point for
Especially like in like think of like the Asian gaming market, right? Like competition gaming is huge there, and online gaming. Why is it not?
They
part of
probably have
this-
citywide Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, there's probably that too.
They're so far ahead of us, their infrastructure.
Yeah, the fact that we don't have that, especially in places like L.A. and New York,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, Chicago even.
Chicago, yeah, at least
You know,
Detroit,
places like
yeah,
it's big cities.
Yeah.
Houston.
Houston, yeah, like Miami. Like, why is there not at least a central hub that has so far of a reach of like 50 miles, 25 miles? Like,
I mean, internet technically should be free.
I agree. Because information should be free. So,
You know, it's just you're paying for access to it.
yeah, and it's privatized. If it wasn't privatized, we wouldn't have such an issue. And it's why a lot of other places have such cheap internet, and it's gone so far ahead of us.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I personally have a monopoly here. I don't own the monopoly. I personally have a monopoly over my over my internet here.
yeah, we have Spectrum because it's like the easiest to get. It's kind of affordable, especially in the first few years. I think there's other options, but not really up here in the mountain. part of me's thought about, I can't do it up in here in the mountain again. I thought about going like data, 4G, 5G, right? Like 5G, like just do that. But yeah, it's just I can't do it up here. In Spectrum wouldn't be bad if it was more reliable, but like you saw in our last episode, it cut out. I can tell you next week's episode it cuts out, like halfway through. Not even halfway through next week's. And now
that you said they're gonna do it.
I don't know. I hope, but they.
No, I mean, now that you said it, they're gonna cut your internet off.
Yeah. Welcome back.
This,
no.
This man talking crap about us. And
hey man, I'm gonna talk crap every time it happens, bro. I'm tired of it. Like it's not even while I'm live streaming or trying to record podcasts with you or other friends, or like literally we'll be in Discord and I'll just be talking. And all of a sudden it's just silence. And I don't even realize I'm disconnected. But like it's just gone. And I'm like, hot guys? And then I have to look and be like, why? Like 3 or 4 times a day a lot of times it cuts out. And like that's pretty ridiculous when it should just be part of our infrastructure for it to be like it should just be a normal part of infrastructure the same way your power is. But to be fair, I also have really bad power. It cuts out like all the time too.
You have a surge protector, right?
Yeah, we have a generator, and I have surge protectors on all my equipment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah, I've got way too much money in this equipment. I mean, this microphone alone is enough for me to put a surge protector on my audio interface. But yeah, it's just it shouldn't be this hard to get reliable internet this day and age when it's 2021. We should have had we should have had better structure 5-10 years ago, let alone now.
Yeah. I think at some point the internet will be free access to all.
Hopefully Elon Musk at least has this satellite internet. Like, I won't be able to really get here because I have way too many trees. That 400 or 500 foot trees that are just surrounding everything. I don't know if I'll be able to get it here, but they say it will be able to cut through trees and stuff. So who knows? Maybe that'll be the solution to like a worldwide internet that everyone has access to, at least for a affordable price. And if not, awful. I'm sure it'll be awful. Although like Elon Musk seems to want to do good, he also wants to make money. I'm sure.
Tax write-off.
Yeah. Like the idea is great, but if he doesn't execute it in a way that's morally outstanding,
yeah, he's no better than a politician then.
Yeah. It's kind of the problem that we all have with Jeff Bezos, right? Like he has this amazing ability he could have to help a lot of people, and yet he wants to follow other billionaires' footsteps and try to run his own rocket program and whatever.
Yeah.
But and use his customer base and destroy his employees, and at least we don't have to hear about that with Elon Musk. Although Tesla's not that great, as I hear.
Well, no.
But
and I'm sure a lot of them get paid to. A lot of people get paid to keep their mouth closed.
Probably, right?
As is the way.
I'd get paid to get. If you're gonna pay me, I'll keep my mouth shut. I know some things, Elon.
Sponsor me.
Sponsor me.
For life.
Don't worry, that secret. Yeah, that one. I won't tell anybody.
Sponsor me. I'll drive a Tesla for the end of days.
That not a flamethrower. Yeah, I know.
I promise to drive what looks like a Tesla every day if you sponsor me.
It might not have a Tesla engine in it, but the body will look exactly like the Tesla truck, Cybertruck. I promise.
The Cybertruck.
Oh my gosh.
How many video game lots can I grab in the back of that?
Ooh. Probably a lot. And it honestly wouldn't be okay. I honestly don't think it's that bad of a thing. I would take a Cybertruck.
It's ugly as hell, but yeah,
I agree. I don't want to drive a Warhog, but
I mean, I really like the N64, so.
The N64 controller is the ugliest thing in the world, and yet I still play it. So.
I was talking about the graphics, but yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It looks like that thing was rendered in, Cruising USA. Cruising USA actually looks better, has more curvature than that truck.
Yes, there is more curvature than that truck, but I think that was their idea.
Oh man, I love that live stream where he's like, "These windows will not shatter," and he just puts the hammer through it. Dude.
He talked about it on Joe Rogan not long ago. His last thing with Joe Rogan, and he apparently they had tested it like over and over and over again, like all day, chucking baseballs and chucking stuff at it, and then like just to make sure it wasn't gonna break, and then the live event.
Yeah, first try,
and it's like really, even though they had spent all day just throwing stuff at it, you know, it's like everything is eventually gonna break. So yes, it is bulletproof, quote unquote.
If I would have done that, and this would be the scumbag way to do it, I would have removed the glass and put a panel there and glossed it over and said it was tinted.
That sounds like the scummiest way to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the bulletproof glass is pointless anyway. If you're buying that truck because it has bulletproof glass,
it wasn't bulletproof. It was shock absorbent, right? It wasn't going to stop them.
I think.
Did they shoot it? Did they shoot it?
No, they threw a baseball or a hammer at it or something.
Yeah, I don't think them shooting it, pulling out a firearm and discharging it.
Yeah, not on the live event. No, I'm pretty sure they were bulletproof though. I'm pretty sure that's what they were classifying it as, because I'm pretty sure it was the whole like, if I remember right, he said the only reason they did it is because they were like in this like they were around the round table and they were like, what's over the top? It should have bulletproof glass. Dude, it should have bulletproof glass. You know, and I agree with that. Like, I'm totally down for that. They have the money, why not? Like, they have the customer base now too, right? Like, Tesla's
base who wants it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see some of those driving around the freeway when they launch. Yeah.
That would be interesting to see going down the road.
Yeah, I'll let you know what they look like on the road. They'll be interesting.
Yeah, I suppose I'll have to go to Des Moines to see them.
Yeah, maybe not. You might not even see them for a year or two there. Like, I mean, maybe a year. You know, I'm sure that people will own them, but to actually see it randomly on the street would probably be pretty rare. I
see Model S's whenever I'm up there.
Yeah, I've thought about getting one of the Model M's or something for local driving, but can I play a video game in it? Because then I'm in.
Yeah, you could. But my Denali, I have a 2004 Denali that I can play video games in too. So.
Yeah, but not with an LCD that size. It's like
not that big. Size, no.
It's literally like the biggest you could ask for, you know?
I only have a 9-inch screen, you're right.
Yeah, you literally have a TV in a Tesla and nothing else. Barely have a steering wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Mortal Kombat.
You know what the difference do you know what the difference between a Tesla and a Porcupine is?
What?
Porcupines have the pricks on the outside. I'm just kidding. Sponsor me.
I mean, okay.
That's a joke.
You're not. You who own a Tesla, you're totally not a prick.
We hope that you're listening to this podcast in your Tesla right now.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. And like I said, I kind of want to buy a Tesla anyway.
Hey, get your hands out of your pants and listen up.
Yeah, like put your hands on the steering wheel and listen to this. Stop. God, such big heads. Anyway. All right.
I think Teslas are cool. In all reality.
I think Teslas are really cool. I do. Yeah. But I must say, to bring this back to Mortal Kombat, they need to put a Tesla truck in Mortal Kombat.
There you go. And Street Fighters, you can beat it up.
Yeah. That's how you break the glass.
E-Honda versus Honda.
Oh my god. Isn't there like a car fighting game? Like a game where like cars fight, like Street Fighter,
like Twisted Metal?
No. I mean like a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, but they're cars. It might be even Sega. Surprise me. I think it's Sega.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Fight. Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I'll have to if it exists, up here. If it doesn't exist, down here. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any more points on the Mortal Kombat movie you want to make, or like any of the games that you want to be like, hey, like, check this out, do this, do that?
If you're in the mood for something a little crazy, go check out Armageddon. It's got that.
Yeah.
I believe that's the one with the chess and the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
and
I think
Tetris.
that's chess. Yeah. Yep. Okay, I think you're right. Yeah, Armageddon. If I remember
It's
right.
either Armageddon or Deception. It's one of those two.
I think it's Armageddon, but yeah. Well, again, corrections if we need them.
They're both great games. Check
I
them
mean,
both out.
I don't know
And
Mortal
check out the
Kombat
movie.
that I don't love. If you're a fan, check out the movie. If you're not a fan, give the movie a chance. And if you are a fan, my other thing is, if you are a fan, no expectations. Do not go in there with expectations because you're gonna ruin the movie for yourself. Like,
go in as a new movie. Don't go in knowing what to expect better than the 95 one though.
well, you're gonna get better than
It's
95
better than
one.
95.
Just
CGI is
don't
great.
expect it to please everything that you want it to please. Like, it's still a movie made in Hollywood. But.
Okay. Here's your 10-second warning for spoilers.
All right. So if you don't want to hear any of these spoilers, I want you to, in the description, there'll be a timestamp. I'll also put it up here so you know what time to jump to if you don't want to hit the description. And we'll fast forward past this. I mean, probably you're only going to miss we'll probably jump into the outro after this anyway. But I'll put a timestamp just in case. There's some other discussion after this. And all right. Time to spoil shit.
If you're on YouTube, please give us a like. Please subscribe for more great content from us. I absolutely hate being this guy, but nobody's going to see our YouTube video if we don't, right?
Oh, yeah. Please like. Yeah,
it's
at
up to
least
you.
like.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
If
you
you
don't
like
like
it,
dislike it.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt our
We're
feelings.
too new for this. Don't do that. No, for real though.
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Oh yeah. No. But I see the like. He already disliked it. No.
Spoiler time.
Please subscribe. If you do like it and you want to see more content, or if you want to even just support the future of this channel, we would appreciate it. This is a new journey for us, and the motivation to keep going would be much appreciated. As well as this journey is just been so fun already, and we're on our second episode. You know, like, so I'm really excited, and I know the production value is only going to go up. We're really trying to do this. So, all right. Time to spoil the movie.
I have one useless fact for you.
Okay.
The Mortal Kombat theme from 1995 actually was the first EDM record to go platinum. Yep, that's the one. Okay. Now you get your little your little beep sensor thing ready, because holy shit, that fucking blood dagger though, dude.
Oh my god, that fucking blood dagger. Oh my god, dude.
That was sick.
Whoosh, oh my. Woo.
That was fucking brutal.
Dude, my mind. Oh my god, dude. The whole Sub-Zero moveset of like 100%, honestly. Like 100% of that was all down to the final fight, you know? So now that we're in this, for those of you who are still with us, Cole Young happens to be the ancestor of Scorpion.
It doesn't mention how many generations have passed, but he has direct bloodline of Scorpion, of Hanzo.
We want to believe that it's at least Hanzo's. So Hanzo had a girl in the beginning of the movie who survived
as a baby. Raiden
as a baby, and then we believe at this point, I don't have any knowledge to contradict this, that it is probably that girl's son. Or it's several generations down the line, because we don't really have a timeline for when Hanzo is killed.
Well, okay, so this movie has to take place before the first tournament, because, well, before the second tournament, because Liu Kang's alive and Kung Lao's dead. No, so it's actually the first tournament, isn't it?
Kung Lao's still in stone. Yeah, he's still in stone. It is the second tournament. Yeah.
Kung Lao's dead and Liu Kang is not.
Is there any point where he decides? The other thing that I didn't want to spoil earlier is that they don't partake in the tournament. He comes to Earth in order to avoid losing in the 9th tournament because he doesn't want to hold up the risk. And so he comes to Earth in order to try to avoid that. And so he's technically not breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat because he's not doing it during the tournament.
Right. He's trying to screw over the Earth realm.
So is
by
there
killing
any,
all the fighters.
Right. And so is there any of the games or lore that like does that? Like that has them come to Earth?
I mean, they come to Earth quite a bit, but the tournament I don't think has ever been held on Earth.
Okay. But do they come to Earth without the tournament? Like, do they come to Earth?
Yeah, they do that.
So this has happened before.
Yeah, they come to Earth to screw with people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Bro, that Kung Lao fatality. He rode that bitch into the blade, the spinning hat, the blade.
Yeah, yeah. So this is
Split her
what I was
down
saying.
the middle.
Like that was my fan service, right? Because in Mortal Kombat 9, like that is my favorite fatality in Mortal Kombat 9. I don't know if it's any of the previous games, but he throws his hat. It's halfway in or his hat like is lost, right? It's in the ground, stuck in the half, and he doesn't have it, right? He gets this, it's on the ground, and then the blade just, oh god, like that is where the movie nailed it.
She gets what she deserves.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got what she deserved. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Absolutely.
lot. So the other surprise I had was Kano.
Dude, what a great character. They let him shine so much.
Yeah, the personality they gave him, man.
I loved him. He's the bad guy, and I loved him.
Yeah. So did you think, though, did you expect him to turn? Like, I expected him to turn at the very beginning. And then as it went, I was like, he's not going to fight for them, is he? And then as soon as they went to the overworld and the guy and Cabal's like, I know a guy. He's a piece of shit. You'll love him.
He is a piece of shit, yeah.
I was like, oh yes, finally. You know, it was Cabal, right? They said that.
Yeah, it was Cabal. Okay. They let Kano shine so much though. Like the takeaway from that movie is that actor.
He's a funny badass, bro. He's funny as fuck.
Great.
Such a great asshole. Such a great asshole.
You love to hate him, but you also
love him
because he's fantastic.
I agree.
Fantastic delivery, fantastic lines.
I totally agree.
I was rooting for him the whole time.
I expected at the end, I did kind of expect. Well, he had to live, right? He had to live because if it takes place before Mortal Kombat 2.
Who lived?
If Kano's
dead.
Yeah, but
Sonya stabbed him through the fucking
That's
head.
right. Sonya got his.
But he's in service of Shang Tsung. I just butchered that. He is in service of him, and therefore his soul belongs to him in Outworld now.
Outworld, yes.
Yeah.
Not Overworld.
Not Overworld. He's in the Nether.
Yeah, he's in the Nether.
Cue Minecraft music.
Ding, ding. But so if this takes place before Mortal Kombat 2 though, doesn't he have to be alive?
Yeah, that's where it gets screwy. It's a different timeline. Has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's not there for the tournament.
Yeah.
As a human. Yeah. Maybe he's dead. Maybe they don't do the whole he's in service anymore.
I mean his
which would be weird.
He's not integral to the story, right? Like
no, he's not. They have the 3 princess sisters to rely on. Nope, they have 2 left. She's dead. Yeah,
but still, two other, and there's also another one. What's her? There's like other. I mean, there's plenty of there's a backlog of characters, they have plenty of fighters to come.
They did tease Nightwolf in that book.
Yeah, you were telling me that was we were watching.
Reptile looks cool.
I agree. Reptile looked awesome.
Yeah. Like a mix between a Komodo dragon and what would you say? It's like a baby Godzilla. He looked good.
I was happy when they made him go invisible. They didn't show him. Like he was invisible. Like you couldn't see him at all.
Yeah.
Because like if you look at a lot of the older movies, right? They made him look like translucent,
transparent.
Yeah, where you can kind of see his movements and stuff still. I think it was much more effective when you literally couldn't tell where he was at until Kano did whatever he did. I don't remember, shot him or something.
Stabbed him with that flare.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, stabbed him with the flare.
Yeah.
Or stabbed a knife through the flare and then into Reptile.
Yeah. Kano really took it like the cake on this film.
Yeah, I think at least in the first half of all in the film, but like I love his introduction, like that, like where Sonya is keeping him captive.
Yeah.
And then he has to break out after Reptile attacks. And then that whole transition where they just walk into the house and he's just sitting there and she's like, "Oh, make yourself at home." And he's like, "Oh, they fucking did."
Yeah. Let's your beer's shit and you're almost out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the shit scene though. When his daughter, when Cole Young's daughter is having ice cream and he's with his wife in the ice cream parlor.
This is like
and
the
it
very
starts
beginning of the
hailing.
movie. Yeah.
And it starts hailing because Sub-Zero is coming to fucking kill everyone. Yeah. And Jax pulls up on his Tahoe, and it is hailing. It is hailing like baseball bat sized hail. Spikes. Not one window breaks out of his truck.
Not one window. Like we talked about, like maybe because he's military and he's with Sonya, that it's like military grade armor and glass.
Yeah.
Because the outside does get fucked up, but not that bad.
Yeah. Body gets messed up.
And so maybe because they're in there doing their, like they know at this point. We don't know this, but we find out very soon after this that Sonya and Jax both know about the Mortal Kombat tournament. And they've been doing research for a long time, and they're kind of black ops or special ops. So they have like this, they might have special access to something like that.
How'd you feel about how the champions were chosen with the burn?
I thought it was a great way to say, to show how they are chosen, right? Without just saying, "Hey, you're chosen."
Yeah.
Like what are they supposed to get, a letter in the mail or like a scroll?
The smash letter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. Like an owl drops it off in his locker. And it was kind of cool. I liked how when, like, this is the significance of her killing Kano, is she doesn't have a mark.
Yeah.
And so Kano got a mark by killing somebody else. And that's how they kind of found out about the mark, because Kano got it. And then she won't kill him until he is actually trying to kill her later in the movie after he's under service. And she kills him and takes the mark. And that's what I was saying. There's so much lead up for a sequel, right? Because she stole the spark. They found, what did they call it when they found their power? How would you think about that? Anyway.
Oh, damn. What was that called? Man. You would ask me yesterday what I remembered.
Yeah, I know. We were going to record this, but we got like super tired. It was like late by the time we finished this.
Well, let's put the name of it down.
Yeah, down here. So what happens is they have to unlock basically their special abilities. So Kano doesn't get his eye ripped out necessarily. He gets some damage to his eye. But then by finding this thing, and they push him to such an angry point that he finds this ability, and that's how his eye gets the laser ability.
Yeah. And Sonya gets hers immediately after killing Kano.
See, but I kind of was okay with that because of who she is.
Yeah.
Because she has like such a grounded place, and she is supposed to be like this ultimate badass.
But it's such the current culture of making the woman of the series, the main series, the badass undeservingly. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily undeservingly, but like that attribute of having it immediately. Like look at Rey from Disney. Look at any of these new series. They're taking the main character and they're just blowing them so far out of proportion. and making them overpowered immediately. No, you can be overpowered, sure, but you have to build up to that, in my opinion. But immediately, just boom, she can fire lasers through her hands and blows a hole through the person.
It's honestly what I think the new Lara Croft games did really well. You start off as this like innocent, like I won't even pick up a bow and kill a wolf or kill a deer kind of person, young girl. Really, I mean, she's like what, in her young 20s in that game, and by the end of the game, you're like murdering people with no thought. Like I also don't like that, because like, how do you go from not even be able to kill an animal to literally being a cold-blooded assassin? But
that's a big story arc in order to.
Yeah, it's also a pretty long
survival.
Game. Yeah. But like I appreciate that, and that, like those, like I agree with you. Like I don't know that in this case
scenarios at this day and age.
Totally. I don't know that in this scenario that is the case. Like I kind of think that Sonya is such a grounded person anyway. Like she's always supposed to be like the ultimate badass. You don't expect her to be the best.
It took Cole getting the shit beat out of him by Goro to get his power.
Yeah,
like almost to the brink of death.
But he's also right. But like she's always training, right? Like she's always fighting back, and he's a washed-up fighter.
He's used to getting his ass kicked,
and he doesn't believe in himself, which kind of was cool, right? Because their weaknesses is what kind of developed their powers, right? Like he is always getting the kicked out of him, and so he develops like this armor skin, the skin of armor.
Right.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Kano is always angry, and it's his anger that fuels his power. Which is kind of cool way to do it.
Well, how would you describe Sonya then?
I don't even remember what her power is, because we see it like once.
Yeah, she shoots the energy from her. Yeah.
Yeah, where does that come from? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm sure it has. I don't even know that she has anything like that.
So she's a killer.
She's got an ion cannon in her fist. It's basically what it looks like a energy plasma ion cannon, something along those lines.
Just a purple energy beam.
Yeah, it's like circles, like rings come out. Yeah.
Jax, his arms like morphing was.
Yeah, and it was cool like moment. It was like him
not giving
having to be the leader, right? Him having to save and not give up, and like having to like push to save this person that developed that strength, right? He felt weak, and it was that weakness that gave him strength. He's like, no, I can do this. And then all of a sudden he grows these. I think that was a good scene. I remember when we were watching it, and you guys were like, his arms look so p***y. like how is that Jack's arms? And I was like the whole time in the back of my head, like, that's not his arms. Like he's gonna
gotta change.
Like it's gotta change. Like, and it totally did. And I didn't expect it to be this power, but once Kano got his eye, I knew that's what was happening. But I kind of like the ideas they had, the things they brought into it.
Sure.
They did
Makes
change
you wonder
some
how
stuff, I guess.
they're going to explain the other lores of other people. You know, like Johnny Cage. He's just a fighter, but he had like that green energy about him in the games.
Yeah.
And they did tease him at the end of the movie. There's a poster.
Yeah, he's really probably what was like guaranteeing a sequel for us. Yeah. They send
Back in the
Cole.
Gym.
Yeah, like they sent Cole quits the boxing
fighting for money.
Fighting money. And then he is like, no, I got to go to Hollywood. And then they pan by and you see a movie poster for Johnny Cage.
But they didn't show the face of Johnny Cage, so we don't know who the actor is.
We don't know who it is, no. We just saw the name and the title of the movie. I don't remember what it was, but...
Yeah, you can see his leg standing next to a nice car.
Yeah.
Some action film.
Do you think he's going to be as much of like an egotistical douche?
Oh, he has to be. You know, I hope in the original 1995 they tried to get Tom Cruise. I hope they get him this time.
Yeah, he's
I hope they
old
get him.
now, though.
I know, but I hope he gets the. Yeah. I hope he gets the play to the. You know.
I kind of hope they don't.
No,
because he'll ruin the movie.
Yeah, he might in his contracts and stuff. Like it's got to be this, that, yeah. You're probably right.
I agree with you. Like action wise, it'd be great. He is a
It'd be
good
great
action
from a
star.
satire. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yeah.
laugh at it.
But yeah, and he would be good at that, right? Especially how short he is. If they like,
Yeah.
if he was willing to let go of his ego, and they let him be the fucking 4'5" he is.
And he could do a snarky laugh too.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
But you don't think that they'll try to tone it down for the modern era or whatever?
I don't know.
I don't know how they would. And plus, it's an R-rated. I guess it's an R-rated movie.
It's R-rated, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not intended for that PG-13 audience that the other one was. Like the movie. Okay, so in the animated one we watched, they make Johnny like an imbecile. Like he has no idea that they're even going to a tournament.
Yeah, he thought they were on set the entire time.
Until he has to fight. Did you fight Reptile?
Baccarat.
Yes, and he
which did not appear in the film.
No, he is not in the film.
Yeah, not
yet. But Johnny has to fight him in the tournament, and is the first thing he fights, and it's at the moment where that thing doesn't act like an actor, like another actor, that he's like, oh, what the fuck is happening? And I kind of liked that because like I liked his story arc in that too, where like he's just like Sonya treats him the whole time like he's like nothing, and she's like, sure, I'm sure you can fight, yeah, totally, I'm sure, and then all of a sudden he falls for Sonya kind of, and he goes and saves her, and she's like, holy shit, Johnny Cage can actually fucking fight, which is really cool, I thought.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they implement him. Because if I remember correctly, in Mortal Kombat, Johnny's daughter, or there's a female Cage in the games now.
There is, yes. I don't remember her name. I saw it when I was doing some of the research for this episode.
I don't want to say it's Sunny, but I think it might be Sunny.
And then that could mean something else, because that starts with an S, and that's an awful lot like no, it's probably nothing. Who knows?
It's probably not linked, but then again, it could be.
Could be.
Yeah, the remix of the theme was cool. They played in the fight.
Right. That is true. Yeah, that remix was unique. It didn't sound quite like the original, but it made me remind, like it definitely was nostalgic.
Well, the original '95 movie, that theme was so overplayed.
They played like 3 times through the movie, yeah.
Yeah, like full length.
Yeah, like fight scenes.
Yeah.
Which they did do. I would say, I agree with the last time they use it. I really liked the last time. Yeah.
Scorpion looked cool.
Yes, when they brought Scorpion up from the depths of hell, and
he used the blood of his ancestor in the hook. It's not really a hook; it's a spear on a chain. Grabbing that because Sub-Zero was going to use it to kill Cole Young, and he grabbed it to stop him, and then his blood got on that blade, and the two bloods mixed, and then Scorpion shows up and does the fanfare, get over here, pulls Sub-Zero up, and then Sub-Zero stabs him with his own blood. So epic.
Yeah, it was
so
great.
Epic. Yeah,
it was
that scene, that final fighting scene. Not even before Cole gets back in and they fight as family. That made the whole movie for me.
Yeah,
seeing Scorpion get his revenge.
I think that last fight scene could have been done better in ways. I feel like it was kind of forced.
I forgot about the shotgun. When Jax fires that shotgun and Sub-Zero freezes the pellets in midair.
Oh yeah, but that's a movie trailer shot. Like,
but it's
gorgeous.
Cool.
It's like, that's just something we didn't really talk about. Is the CG, and like it's pretty on point. Like that CG.
It looks good.
It looks good. Um, it doesn't look bad, at least, right?
No.
Um,
I'm sure in 40 years we're gonna come back and look at this, like, oh my god, what are we watching?
yeah, it'll be the
right?
'95 film to us.
Yeah. So hard to watch.
I don't think the '95 film went over well in '95 though. So, but like I said, I already saw people.
Expectations were high too.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Is I already saw some people on Facebook complain about this movie, and it's all the people who had way too high of expectations. Like that this was supposed to be some new like.
People hype stuff up so much, dude.
Yeah, like come on, like
you have to accept art for face value.
It's art, man. It's not the video games. Like you're not playing a Mortal Kombat video game.
Yeah.
And it's not like we can talk about so many franchises that get ruined when they go to at least live action films. Usually animated, it's not bad, but like, but okay, so here's a really like out of left field. There's like the Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series, and then the Avatar: The Last Airbender M. Night Shyamalan a ding dong, remake. That's just the worst Avatar: The Last Airbender you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
When that series has so much potential, like that could be one of the coolest live action series ever.
I mean, Super Mario movie, we said it last time. Shit.
Yeah.
Street Fighter movies, they're all shit.
Dead or Alive, we mentioned earlier.
Dead or Alive. That Need for Speed movie with it was okay.
But not really.
It was a okay movie, not for
Assassin's Creed. What do you think of the Assassin's Creed movie?
I haven't seen it. I need to watch that.
No, it's not the worst, but it's
trying to remember.
Not good either.
To be fair, the Hitman movies are good.
Are they based on the video games?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
What's that one? The Rock's in it. Doom. The Doom movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Old. Okay. Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay.
What other movies did they make that are trash?
A lot.
There's a lot of trash movie, but
every scary movie.
I remember the Warcraft movie. I was a World of Warcraft fan.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
You liked it?
I know there is an Uncharted movie in the works with Spider-Man.
Oh.
What's his name?
Man.
Tom Holland.
That just reminded me how much we begged and begged for that Master Chief's movie that never came. That Halo movie.
Yeah.
At
and
the
we
time,
probably would have hated it.
Probably. Well, at the time, they couldn't afford to do it. Right? Like, now they could. Because it'll all be CG anyway.
They made an anime.
Put that thing on HBO now. Did you ever watch the YouTube series? There was like a 3-episode YouTube thing that was...
I don't think so.
I don't know what it was called. But it was like Spartans in school, like in training. And then like... Yeah, and then like the base gets attacked. And then like in the very last episode, Master Chief shows up on a warthog.
Of course he does.
And saves like the school. It's really cool fan service.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that out there. Like, do you remember the advertisement for Halo where like it was the like a whole diorama setup, and like they were like panning through it in slow-mo through this like beautiful war scene.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of that stuff out there that's really good. That's like just these small little things.
That was
but there's
cool.
Nothing like it was.
It had
really
like still
cool.
action.
Basically, but it was all a diorama, which is awesome. With like I think they added like gun flares and stuff like that, special effects.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. It sold me. I mean, I was already sold, but there's plenty of that though. Plenty of like cheeses.
Movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I was movie repetitions of.
But there's tons of that. There is tons of that. But to be fair, there's also a shit ton of
what? The Witcher was
represented
decent.
in video games. Awful.
The Witcher was decent
on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah.
I would say after all, though, like this Mortal Kombat movie is one of the best video game movies we've probably ever had.
Sure. If you look at it, step aside and look at it for what it is.
As
It's
a
a good
movie.
movie. It's a great
Yeah.
movie.
Uh, like
They're gonna build it into their own universe now.
I think so. Yeah.
There's gonna be a game coming for sure that has Cole on the cover with
At
Scorpion Baby.
WB
Or
Games, this could bring WB Games back,
yeah,
to the top of the charts. Honestly.
yeah.
Uh,
Just don't fuck up and make a bad game again.
yeah.
They worked in
Yeah,
conjunction with Midway when Midway was about to file bankruptcy with DC Universe meets Mortal Kombat. That wasn't the WB entire fault to them. And again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and play that game. I remember the game. It was fun, but it didn't have the fatalities that everybody wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
It's fun to, when a franchise like this comes out of the woodworks, the movie franchise that is. I mean, obviously Mortal Kombat's a multi-console generational thing,
Yeah.
but we haven't seen a Mortal Kombat movie for years. At least there might have been one more recent than we think.
When we were looking through, we found other ones that we were like, I don't remember the name of this movie even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 10
remember
years, I
seeing
think.
that.
But very cool, though.
Yeah, man.
Watch it, for sure.
Watch it.
It's too late now. We just spoiled everything for you, but
Well, the people who just got welcome back right now, what is your rating for this movie out of 10?
from the outside looking in, I give it a 8 out of 10.
Okay, from the inside looking out.
From the inside looking out, probably a 6. It's a good movie, but as a Mortal Kombat fan, there's a lot more they could have done.
Okay.
They did do a lot. They did tons and tons of fan service.
Yeah, like maybe not add some of the changes they made and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say
I think.
Okay, go. Yeah.
I think that the way that they introduced the new character, I think that they could have done that in a different way that didn't have to change someone else's lore, right? Because it does change lore just very, very minusculely. They could have done it just
A
fresh.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
As a movie, because it's captivating, but I feel like some of the scenes, like I said, like the ending, I think some of it's forced a little bit, where like they just had to find a solution to a problem, kind of thing.
I was distracted looking for Easter eggs too.
There's that. Yeah, we were kind of like trying to pick it apart as we were watching it for the first time.
Yeah, which it wasn't fair of us to do.
Yeah, we probably should have watched it twice.
Yeah,
but we were more
I'll watch
excited
it
to
again.
record this.
Now that I don't have to pay attention to what the characters are talking about and doing, I'm gonna watch it again and just completely stare in the background because they're there. They have to be.
Yeah, right. I'm sure, like you were saying, there's some like the book, mentioning a character and stuff like that.
That was more deliberate though.
Yes, yeah. They wanted you to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely are recommending this movie to watch.
Yeah.
If you are a video game fan, at least. If not, just to waste some time and enjoy a movie. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good place to wrap this up, though, and
Absolutely, yeah.
Get the show on the road to the next episode. This was a good episode. I think we did a fantastic job here, debating some of this opinion, or not debating, I guess, but sharing some of the news and just what this movie's kind of about, and I think you guys have definitely made up your mind now, if you've listened to us this whole time, on if you're gonna enjoy this movie or watch this movie or not. And so episode 2 complete in the box. This has been Dirtbag Dewey, and my friend
Scumbag Steve, which you can find me on Twitch. I'll be live this week. Come watch me get my ass kicked in Mortal Kombat 11. I'll be streaming.
All right. Is that going to be on Switch or PS4?
That's going to be, I think it's going to be on PS4.
Okay.
I'm giving the
Cool.
PlayStation some more love right now.
Yeah. Good. You can find me on Twitch and Twitch and more at Life for Geeks, right there. And yeah, it's been great. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying.
Fatality.